Okay. Welcome, everybody. Cheers.
How are you?
The coffee bros.
Yeah.
Last of the free ones, you know. Oh, you thought you had a free coffee, but you had a donut
Had a donut.
in there. Okay.
No more donuts.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We've got $5 in the money on Apple and $1.50 in the money. We just put this on an NVIDIA. We heard that story from Adara there midday. Something about buying more chips with NVIDIA. It comes right into 115. We buy the 114.50 dip, man, and we just posted that up. There it is. Oh, yeah. Wow, what a move right there on NVIDIA. Now $2 in the money. That just ripped huge. And look, man, it's not rocket science, Joe and everybody. We wrote down 114 before, so we sat there. We took a 114.50, give us 50 cents worth of risk, bang into the upside for $1.60. We're at the highest spot right now. We're loving life. Apple as well. Bad day for Apple. I mean, I don't even.
Yikes.
Honestly, man, this name just continues to be beat up. During the midday, though, I got to get in the other chat. During the midday, I went and bought the S&P500 again. I don't know. I'm just buying it over and over again. You like this hat? This is the Beehive. This is a Hive blockchain hat. Should I switch over to the TTVL hat?
Won't fit my head. Got a big noodle.
We'll stay with Trader TV Live, you know. I get paid to wear that Beehive hat, you know what I mean? All right, but thank you everybody for joining us one more time into the close. We're really glad to have Randy here with us. We're gonna give Joe a couple minutes. I mean, this guy's been going nuts. Joe, have your lunch, you know what I'm saying? Chill out a little bit, you know? You need anything, you let me know. But yeah, you gotta get out of here. You can't be that long. You got
No, I got time.
You got quite the ride home. He's got time. We ain't got nothing but time.
We got time.
You buying anything these days? You talked about Rivian.
So yeah, Rivian's near my long, which was 1022. That was holding at 1058. I don't have it plugged in here.
Yeah, bring that.
You can throw that up.
Where's that chart?
I don't know.
I told you to look up TradingView. What are you doing?
I'm just
Type in RIVN here. I mean, I have the Rivian chart here for now.
Faster than I am.
There we go. Yeah. So Rivian.
Trying to load. Yeah, I mean, my long was 1022, and we're almost near that bottom. It's kind of a fundamental, or maybe just a mental note for me. So if we get down in that neck of the woods, like I said, we had this conversation on our coffee run, I would get along. There's fundamentals there that make sense to me. There's investments that are on their way. We have an investment from Volkswagen. We have a federal investment. Yes, Georgia's still in the works, but I think there's a fundamental floor there that I would like to stand on, as it were.
You hearing anything about Polestar? Polestar holding this dollar level? No, nothing.
Polestar
doesn't seem to be wanting to do much here on the daily chart. Hovering around $1, as low as 90 cents there.
Yeah, they don't.
You know,
I don't know. Kind of a mystery to me.
I get a little nervous when I see like every other car company moving and this one not. Like, is there not interest in this name? Aren't they Volvo? Isn't that Volvo back?
So,
or no?
Yes and no. They take a lot of their design cues from Volvo. Style and the engineering and whatnot. Geely was part of that, and I think they're the biggest owner. So, Chinese car company Geely. But again, they've taken a lot of the design cues and the engineering from Volvo themselves. So, beautiful cars, inside and out. I love them. There's a lot of
Polestars. I thought they looked a little basic. I do like them too.
A little maybe under the radar.
Super exciting, but
fantastic cars.
I told you about getting. We're gonna look at that Golf GTI. You want me to get an R?
Get the R.
I heard my arm a little bit swimming there today.
Go big. The European
go
car
big
companies,
and go home. That's what I've been doing lately with the investments. You know, it's like we're going big and then we're getting.
Get on that.
Slap in the face a little bit.
European car companies are going to have a little strife, I think, in the near future. We've got BMW, Volkswagen, and their pile of brands, and Mercedes-Benz, all in the tariff sites of the U.S. So, again, a lot of these models made in Mexico.
Oh gosh,
they're coming up with backup plans to build cars somewhere where the tariffs aren't an issue, but that's costly. So the Europeans are going to have a little bit of a challenge here, I think, in the short term.
We do have a negative stock today. We're going to get over this. We're going to talk about it. Shreve's getting ready to go with the rundown. So Randy and I will run down a couple stocks here as we go.
Roger.
Palantir, we got stopped out there on AAPL. We were going long down here off the bottom. Unfortunately, it breaks 78.50, only for me to see this happen. So, womp. But that's okay. We instead, we picked on NVIDIA a little bit. That's just trying to rip to the high side. And we just, oh no, I did not get out. Where's my bid on Apple? Oh, I'm bidding 60s. So Apple right here, we're $5 in the money, looking to get a little bit out. Again, yesterday we talked about getting long into the close. I'm not sure, that was 2 days ago for CPI. Yesterday we had a little bit of a bleed down. This is the ES. Today down 1.38%, a little bit better than the NASDAQ, which was down 2%, now trying to battle back as well. But if we look at what happened yesterday afternoon, we're going to get Sharif's base. I think Sharif's close to being ready, so we'll call over there in a second. Just look what happened yesterday afternoon, where we started just to bleed basically the whole afternoon, right into the close, right into the pre-market today. And then that is just continuation, Randy, all the way to the downside. Another 5% on a triple levered NASDAQ name. All right, Randy, you ready for the best part of the show?
Absolutely.
All right, it's rundown. Let's go, Sharif. Let's see what these guys want to talk about.
Welcome to the afternoon show, everybody. The show where you decide what we talk about every day. We got a special guest. Randy's in the house instead of Neil. He's on vacation, but they're all locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So make sure to join us on the How to Trade show during the midday and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day, but only the top few make it on, and you got to be a subscriber in order to communicate and vote. All right, here's a look at the triple Qs, off the lows, but still below 2%. It's really the NASDAQ and the Russell faring the worst off on the day, followed by the ES and the Dow. They're all negative. All sectors of the S&P 500 are red on the day, so nothing being spared today. There is something, though, that is positive, and it goes by the ticker INTC. We got word this morning that they were basically announcing a new CEO after Pat Gelsinger was ousted late last year. It's being run by the two co-CEOs. Now it is going to be run by the new guy, guys. So good luck for Intel, a big.
Yeah, Randy and I were actually talking about this because Randy was scanning through his phone and you were like, oh, well, Intel's up. And obviously today with that specific news. So we do get that new CEO. Funny thing, though, I got a note, and I'll tell you what time it was at. It was pretty recent, actually, from our guy, Obi, who's in the cab.
Nice.
Right there. He said, hey, anyone trade Intel off the open? The opening drive continuation was clean. And I said, yep, Joe had the long there off the open, which is what we said. Obi goes, good. That was probably the easiest trade. Well, no offense, Joe, but it was a tough trade. Don't worry about it. You could have sized heavy and given it 5 cents worth of risk. So anyways, and then he commented on my Apple trade. So I guess he was also watching the show. And he said he was doing all this while in an Uber heading to his hotel or wherever he was staying there. So congratulations, Obi. He said it was absolutely great weather. He's getting ready to rock and roll in Miami. So we say a big shout out to you, Obi. Always miss, of course, on the show. But we were trading this for a little bit the last couple of days, Randy. I mean, it was down at a very, very key level of $20. We had gone from 28 right back into 20. Maybe it's better if I show this on the daily chart here just real quick. So this is, again, falling into support. It does look like your Rivian trade a little bit, where you're coming right back into held levels. Intel held down here to $20. It's held a couple times. The thing is, last time I went long down here. I didn't go long recently. We went long into here. Went up to $28. We didn't do anything about it. We thought it was make Intel great again. I'll back up here into 34, 35. But this little move up today brings it into the 200 period moving average. New CEOs are always good. You get a little bit of a new vision. There's that opening drive that Obi was talking about and that Joe was part of. And Joe actually top ticked up here somewhere. So that was a really great trade. And then you had another opportunity to short it again. And then another couple opportunities here at $24. So honestly, the trend, we have a high here, a lower high, Randy, and then a few lower highs, although these are pretty equal. So right now, although looking at this name being up 14%, the trend is actually lower. And I'm thinking here, if we break this pre-market level right into here of 23.40, then we may have some explaining to do as we get into $22. So for me, I really like it. I thought there would be selling early in the name, but I'm actually pretty proud to say it's been holding up. So as a shareholder of Intel, it's nice to see this. I think we give this a little bit of a run. We saw Starbucks get Brian Niccol from Chipotle. That stock ripped for a while before eventually falling back in, as the whole market has. So I like that play as a new CEO.
My issue with Intel is that ARM has been eating their lunch for the last 3 years.
Oh, hot take.
Oh, I know. NVIDIA is right behind them. And you know what? There's other brands out there that have really taken the mobile and the data centers a lot more seriously. And Intel's loss of market share to me is an impending disaster. So I would like to see this new CEO come up with, as you said, a clear vision.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of work to do, and AMD and all the rest of them, ARM, and especially the mobile and the IoT world. Intel's got a lot of uphill battles, I think. Again, this new CEO change, is it the only hype we're seeing today, up 18% in the last month? Will it hold? I'm not convinced.
All right, let's go back over now, and then, hey, right up your alley, Randy. So start doing some research about Tesla, because we're getting ready. I want to hear some groundbreaking news here from you on Tesla. That bottom of 280 seems to have not been the bottom. Will we find a bottom at 220? Let's go find the news story here with Sharif.
We're about $40 lower than that, Sean. We were far lower yesterday, or on Monday, excuse me, when Tesla was all sorts of tanking. It's not doing that well today. It's down 3% and change, and here's why. Looks like, they're definitely under pressure from Chinese EVs. We've seen XPeng, BYD all make strides and eat into Tesla's Chinese market share, as well as Europe. There's huge protests in Europe. European sales are down huge year over year as a result of likely Elon Musk's involvement in politics. And they're protesting to no end. They're at these Tesla facilities. They're burning cars. Everything is under control.
All right, then. Yeah. Everything's completely fine.
Control.
Don't look left. Don't look right. Don't look center. Just don't even focus. Maybe close your eyes, and everything will be fine.
I sit and watch registrations month to month in both China and in Europe, and they're just falling off a cliff. And yes, everybody's thinking Juniper is going to come and save their bacon. Don't think so. I think there's a lot of fundamentals here that are ideally really wrong, and there's a lot of lost sales. The Cybertruck is a dud right now. They're sitting on lots and piling up in inventory, and nobody's buying. We've got protests, and I think somebody set fire to somebody's dealerships and things.
Well, they're writing swastika. I mean,
so it doesn't bode well for the whole let's buy a Tesla model. And the people that own them, the owners that have already spent the money on them, are a little bit upset. Yeah. So. The experience is what makes the car, something you want to buy. It's brand value, brand loyalty, and a lot of that has seemed to have gone missing here. So is Juniper going to save this? I don't think so. Every car manufacturer comes up with an update or a new design element every couple of years, with a model refresh every 4 years. This isn't big news. There's, again, a lot of fundamentals here that are missing. So I'm not convinced. If 220 is a bottom, how long that'll hold? Ooh,
look at the S&P futures right now, Randy. We are starting to rip city right now on these. We're $2 in the money right here on NVIDIA. NVIDIA's absolutely ripping. We just got some out here at 116.80. We're also waiting for 117. And we did get that Apple cover. So we are waiting for that to break, and then we are out. Let's just put a 213 out here on Apple if it does break higher. I have less than 1% left. So, I mean, we might as well just punch out now. But okay, so that was Tesla. So this is going to be a red stock for us. We have two red stocks, Palantir and Tesla, but we did pretty good with risk management. I mean, it was falling back in right there. I thought I liked the stock, today against that 242. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Once you lose the pre-market, though, it's difficult. Like, that's where we got out on that bump back up, because we already lost the pre-market, and it was like, okay, are we going to get back to the upside? If we are, then it's well worth the risk. So these longs are 243 there, 243.50, 243 again, and then we finally got out once it broke through 242. So we actually wind up taking about $1 worth of a hit, but for me, that is well worth it, because that 244, if we just get back to where we opened, it's $5 or $6. So I like that trade. The reason why I liked it, though, was, again, we did have, if you see right into here, this is obviously Tesla right here. It just goes back to this little level right there, 242, coming into yesterday's low. But that yesterday's low obviously cracked now, being down 3%. So, yeah, everything you said about deliveries, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I last bought this name $90 ago, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But there it goes. It's a nice, I think we're probably about equal. I sold Palantir at 114 to buy Tesla, and it's like Palantir went down, so did Tesla. So I think we're 1 for 2 there on those calls. But I like the stock. I just don't think I like it today. You're already down 3%. The market's red, and the rhetoric in the afternoon over the last couple of days has been to sell the market down. So we're covering some of our NVIDIA. We only have 10% left of that one as well. So we're getting ready to rock and roll here. It's 216. The next name is very, very interesting. You and I were talking about mining this thing about 10 years ago, honestly. From here, we can maybe we'll tell that's 10. Well, I don't know. I'm not even sure the show was going on. I think I was sitting on that other side. to be honest with you, when you and I were talking about
Possibly.
this. So
we're dating ourselves.
Yeah, it's back when we were dating. Yeah, ourselves. All right, Randy is here. We're really happy with that. Joe will be back in about 15, 20 minutes. So, but let's go. Let's go back over and see what Sharif's up to.
We got this CZ story here, Sean. We're going to talk about BTC. There's IBIT obviously down almost 3%, but we got word today that there was rumors circulating that Donald Trump wanted to take an interest in Binance. CZ obviously heading that, and he said, here's what he tweeted, guys, or X'd, or whatever we're calling it these days. Sorry to disappoint. The Wall Street Journal article got the facts wrong. More than 20 people have told me they were asked by the Wall Street Journal and other media, can you confirm that CZ made some deal for a pardon? They probably asked hundreds of people to have 20 people reach out to me. In essence, they tried hard to make a story to report fact. I have had no discussions of Binance US deal with anyone, said from his mouth himself.
That's quite the rumor.
So that just means he has talked about it, and we'll just no, I have no idea. It's just like one day there's talks, one day there's not.
Yeah.
I don't think that really affects Bitcoin's price per se. We can look at DJT. Maybe we could do that right there. But the question here is 80,000 for Bitcoin. Well, right now we're at 80,000. We're at 80,500. On a 15-minute chart, that's what I've been really using for Bitcoin. It's been really choppy to talk about it, but this is the 15-minute chart. We've already broke below it today. We broke it at about 9 o'clock, and then it hasn't recovered at all. It's been straight to the downside. Like crypto, if you have a good, like Coinbase has a good fee. They have a maker-taker model as well, where it's a lot cheaper to post than to remove liquidity. And if you've been scalping crypto, I think it's been a great trade, man. I mean, some of these bottoms have really held, and some of the levels have been cool. And like 80,000, like you just bounced off 80,500 bucks. Like I know $500, it's a $100,000 name, right? So it's like, It doesn't really matter that much, but it's a nice bounce off of a clean level. So right now, I think that's the only thing to worry about is, are we gonna hold 80,000? The last time was March 25th right there. So that's it's March 25th, that hasn't even happened yet. March 11th, where we broke below and we only got as low as 79 before bouncing. So for me, if we break that low right now, I think you go short, giving yourself a stop of about $500 or $600, hoping that it does retrace that, gives you about a 2-to-1 ratio right there. And if you're lucky, it keeps on going down. So I like Bitcoin right now to trade. I'm not sure from a long-term standpoint what this means for Bitcoin. I know Joe's talked about it being a good holding for himself, but at the end of the day, the real thing to trade, if you have a TFSA or a tax-free savings account or something like that, would be IBIT. I mean, this is just straight down. So I guess right here, because we bounced off 80,000, I'm guessing this is 80,000, 45.4. So if we break below 45.4 this afternoon, Randy, I think I'm going to short it. So I'm going to join that. If we break the low of the day, which should be roughly 80,000, we just showed that to you, I'm going to go short and then use the 50-period moving average as our out right there. So we'll start it. We'll do it with like 500 shares. So our limit price will be 40, just to start, 45. What did I say that bottom was? Which is right here, 45.38. So yeah, we'll just go 45. Let's go 37. Let's just say whatever it hits it right there. All right, and we'll go 45.35, and we'll try 500 shares. So we'll try that. We'll put that offer in. If it spanks that bottom, if it goes to the bottom, then we will get into that short there. So I don't know. As I was saying, and I don't think it was a joke, honestly. We were going back and forth about how expensive electricity is, and then you and I, don't worry, man, the boss man's not watching. But you and I had talked about borrowing electricity from this building to run. You don't have to do that. I'm very loud about this. We were trying to borrow. We didn't do it, so just an idea. Borrow electricity from the building to run our rig secretly somewhere.
Yes.
And that never happened, and I wish it did. Yeah, the more you know, the more we get fired. So, Joe, you ready for a permanent spot over here? Anyways, at the end of the day, it never happened. I had some rigs in the basement. That was working out for a while. We were mining some different coins, so we did okay on all that. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin's had a huge run over the last
Crazy.
X amount of years.
Crazy.
Seems like a small pullback. Are you hearing anything in your sort of realm there about Bitcoin? Any of your friends?
I don't. No, I got the odd friend who's in it, but no, I don't. I see it. It's in my news feed every day.
Okay.
And, you know, again, I considered it with you years ago, and then the hydro bills.
We considered it. That's a good word.
It was the computing power would be able to heat my house in the winter, I think. So yeah, it wasn't really cost effective then, and now I just think it's even worse. But I don't have a Bitcoin.
Well, also
farm,
now you also have the hash rate has changed. So with all the what do they call it? The
token.
No. Where they oh man, the halving.
Yeah.
There's been at least 2 or 3 halvings since you and I have talked about that, which makes it double as hard.
Yes.
To mine for them, right? So it does take.
I've got enough computing power in the house, but no, I think.
Yeah, we're not doing it now. So what do you think about crypto at these levels? Not interested, really?
Not interested, but it's such a big part of the market now, and there's a lot of leverage there, and I think if people can build on that, and there's a lot of hype too.
Yep.
You know, with the U.S. government getting into it, it really changes the landscape, I think, a little bit. If it becomes, you know, the equivalent of a default currency for some reason, and then that's adding more, you know, more credence to this whole thing. So yeah, I pay attention to it, not like you guys do, but it's on my radar. But no, I don't trade it. It's a little scary for me.
All right, let's go back over and talk about some China. Maybe we could talk about if there's any Chinese car companies you're familiar with. Maybe we can do that in a couple minutes.
Boy.
Let's go back over, see the story about FXI.
Yeah, it's a good look, Sean. I mean, one of the only green spots on the day, up 0.75% right now. Despite these bad headlines, Senate unveils its bid to curb U.S. investment in China as the House awaits. President Trump also said he's not going to change his mind on those April 2nd reciprocal tariffs that we've all been waiting for. There will be a little disruption, he goes on to say, but it won't be very long. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you look at the Sheins and the Temus and the Wayfairs and even Walmart, okay? And all these companies that are bringing in absolutely everything made in China.
China, yep.
The tariffs become an issue. You're talking Nike shoes, like everything's made in China. And to slap a broad tariff across a huge consumer staple index is a big whoops. Never mind the car companies, who I think are going to be here eventually with the BYDs and the Geelys and the other Chinese car companies. They're going to get here at some point. If they have to make their cars in Mexico, so be it. You know, if Nike wants to make shoes in Mexico to get around tariffs, maybe they could do that. It's a big pivot, I think, and it's going to grab a lot of attention and certainly get people's minds thinking a little bit.
Yep.
And when you're buying on, my daughter's buying Shein all the time.
Is she?
Oh yeah, no, she's buying everything.
What is she buying? Clothes? Don't they fall apart? Don't you like wash them once?
They are every day of the week. It's Shein and you know, and I've shopped on Wayfair, but I mean, all this stuff coming from China. What's it going to do to their pricing model?
Right.
What's it going to do to their bottom line and their profitability? So it's a bit worrisome.
Yeah, it's not great times right now getting products from China. We talked about you just dropped Nike there. We talked about Starbucks falling down in the last couple weeks as well. Some of these Chinese plays. I don't know too much. I mean, Temu. I think that's Pinduoduo. Maybe you can invest through that as well. Alibaba's been hot fire. Yeah, I actually had a pretty good trade on that earlier today as well. This is BYDDY. I mean, what a different name here, as you just talked about BYD. This is their ADR right here, American Depository Receipt, which is available on the pink sheets. What a difference this looks than Tesla. What a difference this looks than Ford. What a difference this looks than GM. This looks different than everything else. As we continue to go to the upside, these guys are selling the most amount of cars in China.
When your monthly domestic registrations are 10 times what they are, what Teslas are.
Say that again. The monthly
domestic insurance registrations in China are 10 times what Tesla's selling.
So BYD.
That's one company. There's over 80 companies making EVs in China. 80.
Right.
Do the math. That's like they're a drop in the bucket. Again, that's domestic.
Right.
When they start exporting here and elsewhere, look out.
But do we not think that Donald's not going to let that happen? I mean, he's just going to let them import these cars at zero tariff? I mean, there's going to be
no, not at zero. Tariff.
What do they have an equivalent of a Model 3?
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of pricing are we looking at? Half? Like right now?
Depends on your trim levels and they offer various power rate.
Okay, so I was just saying, so even if there was a 25% tariff,
substantially cheaper.
Right, probably comes in cheaper than a Model 3, even at 25%.
Yep, and they're well built. Well built.
So okay, Yeah, you know, I do feel like that's the problem. We look at Ford's chart, we look at GM's chart. These stocks continue to get hit real bad, and a lot of that, of course, with the tariffs on steel, workers. And again, it's unions, right? I mean, I don't know what it's like in China, but I can just imagine, probably a lot of machine builds, like their robotics there on the line.
And there's a lot of automation here as well. But again, as you said, labor costs.
What are you trying to hit?
And supply chain. I don't know. I was looking at the buttons. I'm like,
hit one of them. Which one do you want to hit?
I don't know yet.
Hit one for the people. Fail. Okay.
You know what? I have a lot of concern for the big three. Stellantis is kind of on the edge because they're mostly European now.
Get some help.
But as Sharif said, the new electric charger, wah, wah. It's just no. And Ford has two EVs, two.
Ford does.
Ford.
The Mach-E and the
F-150. Like, two?
That's it?
You've had all this time.
And the Mach-E's been there, I think, for like 10 years, I feel like. Not that long, but it's
3 or 4. Yeah,
I think more than that, no?
They're catching up to a game they're already losing. I just feel like it's a losing battle. GM's getting there, the Volt, and they've got a half a dozen other EVs now in the works, but I just find it to be a pretty dim and dismal kind of outlook. So, you know, put the tariffs in motion. The Chinese at some point will have a game plan. What it looks like, we don't know. But again, they make all our phones and everything else, our clothes and everything else we wear now. So why not take advantage of their low-cost labor and their great supply chain costs and just deal with it? Just join the party.
Here we go. Thank you so much to Diego right there for the super chat. Here he goes. He says, good to see Randy. Hey, imagine we close bullish today. I think we will close bullish today. I don't know if we'll get green, but I think the market rate here is indicating a little bit of a bullish move up. I want to say a big thank you to Scott Angel right there. Thank you for becoming a member, joining over 1,000 right now that we have. It's $5 a month. But thank you, Diego, for that as well. You know, we love being here. And we love having guys like Randy here as well, giving a different perspective on the day. We do have Neil coming back on Monday, but you are welcome, obviously, as you know, on the show at any time.
Thank you.
Okay, Sharif, one more to go here. Dang, Apple, what's going on with you these days?
Oh, boy.
It's down and to the right, Sean. That's what it's doing these days. Okay, so Apple barely holding on to 210 today, 210.50. So shout out to Joe for calling that one. Here's what Ming Chi Kuo posted. We saw Dara bring us these headlines during the midday. Developing great AI services was never going to happen overnight. So the delay of Apple Intelligence is entirely understandable. When Apple announced Apple Intelligence last year at WWDC, even though they knew it couldn't be completed on schedule, this approach, which was not a good move, is still understandable given the pressure from the board and shareholders. Sounds like a lot of opinion. The point is, guys, things haven't been going good for Apple, and Apple Intelligence and the delayed release of it definitely not helping.
Seems like their AI play is perhaps a little bit behind schedule or misguided. There was some what is it? Not safe for work. AI things being spitted out by. Yeah, there was a report on Twitter, on Reddit, I forget where, about this woman who asked the Apple AI a question, and it got kind of a spicy answer out of it. It was interesting. I just think they're behind schedule. They're a little bit behind the curve on this, and you know what? They've got a huge audience and a lot of hardware, me included.
We all have Apple.
So they need to get this right. And their new hardware, by the way, Apple M4 Ultra, the new M4 Studio, I love the hardware. Hardware's so good.
Aren't you a Mac guy also?
I'm a Mac guy too.
You have the Apple Home.
But all the greatest hardware in the planet won't work without the software. And they can't be without the AI. So it's a big part of the puzzle that they've got to get it right, and they got to do it soon because everybody else is going to eat their lunch.
See, I thought Apple could win in all this because with all the DeepSeek stuff, you know, they haven't built out and put that much money in this AI game yet, and now apparently you can do the game cheaper. You know, when Gemini is being built on billions of dollars, and then you hear DeepSeek and stuff like that over there, and we already talked about China, but that's being built at apparently a fraction of that cost, like 10% less or so. Maybe Apple can take advantage of that. They did get a deal with China as well. I'm not sure it was Alibaba to run their AI. Yeah, there's somebody over there helping them with that. Is it Baba? Okay, reported for Bob as well. So
didn't hear that.
Yeah, so at the end of the day there, thanks to Tariff for that. At the end of the day, though, we wrote down Apple today on the sticky note. It was our number 2 idea to go short. So I said momentum is short. We should fade any kind of pops, man. 218 was yesterday's afternoon high. But guess what, man? We never got there, but we did exactly what we said we would do. We faded. You're not going anywhere, Randy. You got to say bye to everybody. We had right there. There's that 217 pop. We faded the pop. It popped early, right? There's the pop. That's exactly what we want to do. We faded it, and there it is right now. It's a $5 winner. We only have 1% left, so we're not really doing too much here with it. But there it goes to the downside. It's Apple. We like the stock down here to buy. I think it's not a horrible long-term idea down at these levels, but at the end of the day, it's really gotten killed. And I honestly think this has been one of the worst runs that I've seen for Apple, down almost 15% in 4 days. I mean, Randy, the market averages 13% a year for the last 70 years, the S&P 500.
Sharif and I and Joe had this conversation, just before the holidays, Joe, about Apple, and I said, their product lineup is a little bit stale, and the new releases are there, but they're not so exciting. And again, they're behind the 8 ball on the AI side of it, so I think they've got to get the broom out and do a little house cleaning. I love the new hardware, but it's only one half of the puzzle. You got to have the good software.
You buying the flip phone?
I don't know.
The folding phone? They're trying to figure that out.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like carrying an iPad mini. When you unfold. Like, right. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But it seems a little large. I don't know. Less is more for me.
The thing is, we can.
Yeah, but it's heavy too. The big battery, and I don't know.
That's it.
I'm not convinced whether I need one. I mean,
I don't need that big bulge in my pocket.
Yeah, something like an iPad mini that you fold in half and carry. I don't know. No. Anyway,
Randy.
Yo.
Drive carefully.
I will.
Get out of here. Thank you so much for covering there. And, maybe we'll do it. Yeah, well, maybe we can do it tomorrow. Oh, maybe we'll do it tomorrow because I don't know what Joe's plan is tomorrow. You running the gauntlet tomorrow again? But, you're not here tomorrow. Oh, well, then have a great weekend then, man. Any plans?
Little sleep in.
Is that like a little grunt there?
A little
snore?
A little snore.
It's
supposed to be warm tomorrow.
I can't sleep anymore. Like,
no,
I can sleep fine. Like I get 6 to 7 hours a night, which probably need more than that. But it's like no matter what day it is, no matter what's going on, man, it's like bang, it's 6 o'clock. Like my head just like time to wake up.
Instead of being up at 5, I'll be up at 7:30.
Oh, that's not. Hey, man, take that.
Clyde and I'll have our morning breakfast and have a coffee, and then
Are you done your coffee?
No.
I just want to know if you won. No, don't finish it. Randy, come on, man.
Just for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Here we go.
I really hope you win.
Here we go.
I really hope
the excitement builds.
Randy. Come on, Randy.
Survey says, denied.
You didn't win the ID buzz?
Please play again. Oh, well.
All right. Well, we did it yesterday on the after show.
Actually, I'm kidding. It says I want a coffee.
You're lying.
Look at it.
You mother. He won. He actually won.
Hard to see.
Anyways. Shit, bro.
Hey,
Man,
I've had to buy one.
I like and hate you at the same time.
I've had to buy one coffee this whole week.
I know.
We drink 3 a day?
And we have the free donuts. We'll give it to Neil. We'll get him apple fritter.
I've got 2 free donuts.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Such a show-off, Randy.
I know. All right.
All right, man. Thanks again. Yeah,
Smell you later.
Drive carefully. Smell you later. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. Say hi to the kids, the family, and everything.
I will do that.
Yeah, Randy and I have been friends for over 20 years. He was here when I started here, 24 years, I guess. At that point, I said, who is this handsome gentleman? He has not aged a day.
That's right.
Right there. Yeah, so you've aged years, not days. Okay, thanks, Randy. Everyone loves Randy, so thank you so much, guys. Put the ones up in the chat there. Let Randy know that you did have a great time with him here on the show. All right, thanks, Randy. Well, enjoy your free coffee. Yes, sir. Son of Randy won again. Like I haven't won one time on these coffees, and we get the same coffees like every day. No, Randy. Nepa.
How about you?
Well, okay, fine. I'm just going to keep it here, and then next time he comes. Can you believe that? Oh, Joe's getting ready to roll. Okay, Joe, Hey, Joe, how's it going? Joe, you doing good? Yeah, no, just talking to an empty chair. All right, so yeah, everyone loving Randy. Thank you, Randy, for coming through, and definitely travel well. Okay, let's get into trading now again. So we heard that story in the midday. Honestly, I just sat back down here, was having the old salad there, getting ready to go, laughing with these guys, making sure everything was okay. And I just said, not again, man. Not again. If this comes in, I want I want this to be a trade. And so we sat there, we took it, we took that NVIDIA dip. We liked it at 114. 114 was yesterday's close, yesterday's bottom right there in the afternoon. So that was a level that we had written down on the sticky note. Unfortunately, it came in a little too quick for us right there off the open as it just dropped from 116. It actually dropped from 116.20 in a straight line all the way down to 114.20, including these bottom wicks. So to be completely honest with everybody here, as we always are, I think I would have even been worse if I would have held it to 114 because most of the time I punch out around the 3/4 mark, which this time that would have worked. But, I don't know how far I would have held that down. So I'm glad I don't have any down ticks there. But again, which was a negative name for us, we had talked about that, turns positive easily right there, back up to the upside. Actually, you know what? I don't think it was negative, but it wasn't. A cup of coffee. So at the end of the day, turns out to be one of the better trades there with NVIDIA at the end of the day. I do want to check out my good friend Donkey Kong right now because this is at DKNG as we look to see what's going on with this name. This was a name that I think I want to buy. Haven't done it yet. Getting a haircut today. And, if we liked it this morning, we like it even more now, down 3 more points into this level. I think this is worth it. Their EPS, we're gonna have to do a little bit of work. We do not want, in this environment, we do not want to buy companies that don't make money, okay? Because those are the ones with the higher PEs or no PEs at all, and they're the ones getting hit on valuation. You want to buy the good companies. And I'm looking at, honestly, I know I'm talking about our own book, but I had some couple questions today, just DMs actually coming. I have two of them right now I see in Twitter. People asking about long-term holdings and what are we doing with the long term. I just look right here at Google, honestly, a stock like Amazon, a stock that has, multiple layers to it and relatively good price to earnings ratios. And these aren't hard to find. So for some of you that are maybe, beginning traders or investors and, looking for something to do, I think in times like this, you want to look. You could look at the balance sheet, make sure there's enough cash there, make sure you're not burning through cash because you don't want to have to borrow in this environment for sure. I don't think that'd be too expensive, but you don't want to borrow it against your shares. We saw MicroStrategy and all of that do that and then go in and buy Bitcoin. But right now, Google's forward PE is 18 with its current PE of just 20. It's actually lower than the PE of the market right now that's sitting at 22. So I like Google. It's been a darling for a very, very long time. Basically, since it's IPO'd, it's been huge. It's going through some problems right now as we worry about. Here, before I do that, I want to look at Meta too, because I know that has a low PE. Google right now going through problems with the DOJ. They're going through problems with the current environment of Chrome and legislation and all that. I thought it would have been, sure, we'll go to Darren 1 second. I thought it would have been one of those names that is liked by this current administration, but I'm guessing not there. Strong US companies like Google and like Meta eventually will be the beneficiary, I'm hoping, of some of these turnarounds. Also, a little bit more aggressive though on the PE side of things. Meta 24-25 forward and current PEs, so not looking horrible, as opposed to a name like Palantir that has been getting crushed. And we never look at Palantir as a PE, but if people are like, do we invest in Palantir at these levels? No. Palantir's forward PE is 150. Okay, there's, you're buying these plays because you think there's a growth possibility. Right now, I don't know, growth names, we saw some of them, UiPath, if you report a miss, you get crushed. And it's just like, I don't know what Palantir is going to do next quarter. I'm not hearing as many great things about new contracts or anything like that. We actually get a little bit worried about government spending. I heard Sharif talk about that on your show there in the midday. He's worried about government spending with Palantir. He doesn't think it will affect Palantir, but again, down another 4% today. There's more room downside on some of these names. If you're going to hide out, I'm choosing indexes, I'm choosing Berkshire, I'm choosing cash names, and also Pikachu, I choose you. Adara, what's over at the desk?
So we got a new headline while I was waiting here, but keep an eye, first of all, this is the initial headline I wanted to deliver. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, FNMA and FMCC on watch. The director of U.S. Federal Housing, Pult, saying that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac apparently have great potential to safely and soundly unleash opportunities for more Americans to realize the American dream. So keep an eye on Fannie and Freddie. Also here, keep an eye on INTC because we have a catalyst for this one as well. Zero Hedge basically posting a note saying that short interest in Intel has doubled over the past year. That's being recirculated on social media. So short interest potential here, I guess, or short squeeze potential for INTC being highlighted on social media. Back to you.
What are you? Yeah, I don't know. So interesting talk there about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We'll check those out. Those have been on a nice little run. I don't know if you've been noticing those. Up to $5-6. I actually just got caught. I just put a bid in there. Now I'm caught at 58 on Fannie and Freddie right there. So look at that drop down. I hate the pink sheets, honestly. I used to trade these all the time. I shouldn't say I hate them. They're difficult. They can be difficult to trade with a little bit of a lack of liquidity sometimes. So just be careful. But again, good news there, Adara. Oh, not good news or not, but news about Fannie and Freddie. Thank you, Adara, for bringing that, of course, to our attention. Anything you're working with there? I'm not even sure if you're even.
Yeah, I wanted to get into some TSLA, but I think that ship, that ship has sailed. Thank you, Alfredo Perez, much appreciated. But just to add to your points there with the Google and Apple, a point like what they're referring to is, and it's not looking good in this space. We know that they're having issues with iPhone sales in China and whatever it may be, but we also need to take into consideration how much Google and Apple are invested in each other, right? We know that Google paid Apple $22 billion to be the primary search engine back in 2022. And with the DOJ making Google divest, excuse me, out of Apple, I mean, Google divest out of Chrome, that's not a good sign for this name. And that equates to about 25% of Apple's service revenue there, guys. So you can see that these names are relatively weaker than compared to some of the other Mag 7 names, even though Tesla's down 45%. I don't know if we're still going to classify it in that realm, but that's a really, really bad sign there for those two names. Can they rebound and will they rebound? Yeah, I think so. I think this Gemini and I forget the quantum compute, the Willow they're referring to. I think eventually it'll pick up some steam, but for the short term, if you are starting to eliminate 25% of your service revenue and even cutting that half, that's a pretty hefty haircut in the revenue aspect there, Sean, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about some of these names, but I mean, the market seems to be bouncing back just a little bit here in the afternoon, a little bit anyways, trying to hold some of those bids up as the market continues to go upside. So let's look for the next trade, right? I mean, that's what people are interested in. So let me just see some of the scanners here. Some names popping off right here. We've got SMRs bouncing right here. Let's see what's going on there. Looks like a 5-minute moving average hitting here on SMR. So we can have a quick little look. Okay, yeah, trying to break higher right now. You can see the 50-period moving average down here. Wow, SMR down another 5%. Netflix today as well. That's probably down. I mean, other than Intel, like I haven't really seen too many of these names that have been upside right there today. So it does look like Netflix, again, a $900 name. There must be a Netflix similar to TSLL because Netflix too.
Yeah, there is. I'm pretty sure Darren knows it.
A little expensive. It's probably NFLX something. Anyways, we'll get that all figured out in momentarily, but that's Netflix right there. Anything else popping off here? Here's the hot list to see what's moving. NVIDIA, Tesla, Intel, Palantir. We're sort of looking all over those right now. Palantir back up to 80.50, man. That's too bad because we had that Palantir long down there at 78.50. That looks like it's breaking now. We could almost take this Palantir trade for what it's worth almost right now and go long. SPY Apple, there's your TSLL. Amazon for a trade, the triple Qs, SMCI. SMCI down 4% right now. And again, that's just a hot list brought to you by eSignal. You guys can sign up for eSignal if you want. Free right now with our QR code there. So make sure you try to do that when you get a second. We'll run that ad in just a bit. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. Let's have a quick look at SMCI. I know you're looking at K-Web earlier. I heard you. Did you wind up making money on that?
Yeah,
okay.
Not too much. We'll call it. We're not even going to call it a car wash. Really, a cup of coffee on.
Cup of coffee. Yeah, that's what I say. I made a latte on NVIDIA, and we turned it a little bit. Which?
Self-serve car wash.
Yeah, you had the premium.
I had the premium earlier in the day.
Intel.
Yeah, premium. So that's a rim shine and everything like that. But
yeah.
I'm now back down to.
You know what's good? Do you guys use? You have a car or not really?
Do I have a car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No, yeah.
I know you live in the city.
I drive.
Yeah, so PC Optimum points, I don't know if you shop at Loblaws or at.
No problem.
Anyways, if you go to Esso, this is a little bit of a hack. So for 1,000, is it 1,000 or 10,000? Anyways, it's $10 worth of value of these Optimum points that you get for shopping at the grocery store or anywhere that's Loblaws or Weston based. You get the PC points. Anyways, you can get the premium car washes, which are generally like $17, $18, $19. They do the bottom and all that stuff. All that stuff. You can get that for 10,000 points. So you can get it for a $10 value.
All right.
So that's what I do. So there's one right by the hockey arena there down at Ford that we'll go to, and I'll use the 10,000 points, whatever it is, and $10 for a premium car wash. A little bit of a hack there. I don't know.
I just go to the underground one. There's one in the building beside me.
Okay, so convenient. Oh, $8?
Yeah, but you got to do it yourself.
That's okay. Doing it yourself's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to do that as a kid, man. Get the water, get
everything going,
man,
right? You get to go vacuum the car as well too. So yeah, much needed car wash. Because here, guys, I don't know. I know people in the West Coast, and I don't know if anybody from Cuba is watching, but you don't have a salt problem, I guess. So I know, and we don't get it bad here. Yeah, because right.
Yeah. So, Cuba has the, anyways, when I was in, you've been to Havana?
I've never been to Havana.
Ooh, man. I was there with this company, actually. One of my first, I was probably like 24, 25, like I had just started here. And I was, for some reason, like, I don't know, they plucked me from there and was, again, talking about opening up offices, and I was a trader and a pretty successful one to begin with. Anyways, back in the day, we only had like 20 offices worldwide. So the company paid to have the manager of every office have like a retreat.
In Cuba.
Yeah, but it was in Cuba. Yeah. So one was in Blue Mountain, so we did that, so just up north. Yeah. And then the other one was in Cuba. A bunch of degenerates, like we were running around Cuba, Havana, and the cars there were amazing, man. Some of those old school, like 50.
Because they don't rust, right?
Yeah, exactly. And now I remember we got beers for $1.
Yeah.
Basically, that was a lot. Havana's, it's changed since then, but I don't know if anybody. Are we streaming in Cuba? I guess maybe we are.
Hopefully, I don't know.
I don't know if we are or not, but. I know we're not streaming in China, for example.
Mr. Worldwide.
We are Mr. Worldwide. Is that your favorite artist or what? Is that who was that guy's name again? The bald guy there?
What is his name? Pitbull.
Oh, Pitbull.
Yeah, Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide. Mr. MIA. Oh, maybe he's chilling out with Obi.
Obi there. Him and Flow Rider. Remember that?
Oh yeah, Flow Rider.
Flow Rider.
Yeah.
So
is it either Get Low? No, that's Nelly. Anyways.
No, Get Low. I'm pretty sure that's Pitbull.
Oh, you did?
Maybe? I don't know.
Ramin sent me a car wash link. What is that for?
Car wash link?
What? I know that. $20. Yeah. I know. We have one of these. We have one of these. This is not
the one that I go to. Yeah. It's lit there.
Yeah, it's really lit. Look at this lineup. You know, I mean, my time is worth more than this. You know what I'm saying? But no,
you go early.
I know where this one is. There's a couple by my house too. The unlimited. Are we showing this right now? The unlimited. There it is.
The unlimited one.
Yes, you can get it right here for $20. Oh, here it is. $20. No, I'm talking. This is $40. Yeah. There, unlimited washes, right there per month.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's a good deal there.
It's not bad
in the winter.
Yeah. There's your rim lover.
And you can get a cheap detail there as well, too.
Anyways. Yeah. Tobico. West Side is the best.
Is that West Side? Is that where you was? Oh, no. You know I'm in the West Side. No, I know. But Ramin, I thought she was in the East Side. I don't know why she...
I don't know. I thought she had moved recently.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure that out. All right. So let's look for some more trades. All right. So, yeah. I mean, I love Cuba. I've been there as a vacation as well, to Veradero. With the family about.
I mean, people. The thing is with Cuba, when they go and do the all-inclusive, they complain about the food, but it's like, what do you really need? You need just like a burger and some fries to absorb, I guess, the alcohol that you've been drinking.
The peach bellinis, you mean?
The peach bellinis, yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully they're not tariffed over there. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. Here we go, guys. We're still sitting in this TQQ trade to get back into this market talk, because I'm pretty sure Sean and I could ramble on forever about about anything. But here we go, guys. Climbing slightly higher. I am in right below the volume weighted average price, so this could be bad, because you can see that NVDA, Katina Man's in from 114, and Tesla were continuously trading higher and higher, so we could be back into pullback range. But I'm also thinking, like, hey, what if we start squeezing as well too, especially if NVDA wants to climb higher and crack through the high a day, and Tesla's trading pretty good as well too, guys. So these big names are starting to really get the ball rolling, and that's going to be positive for this trade. I'm going to look at Tesla. So we're above the volume weighted average price in this name as well too. So That's a positive sign. Let's see what Microsoft is up to. It was one of the weaker names on the session here, Katina Man, but it's still only down about 0.9%, and now we're starting to pull back. So the one issue about this trade, guys, is that I have no real risk to reward, right? So like, what am I gonna hold my stop at? When am I truly wrong? And that's not until this base here. So that's gonna give me about 60 cents worth of risk, and that's okay. If we pull back a little bit, I'm only in half risk right now. Yeah, it is, Alex, it is a ballsy trade for sure. Do I want to be punching in right at VWAP? No, but can we start to squeeze when the imbalances come out and 330 starts to roll in? Possibly. So I'm going to look for a hold of 58.32. If we do and then punch through 59, then I'm going to add to this position to try to make it as big as I possibly can, putting it up maybe like a 1.5 risk units there, and then continue and try to tap into maybe 60. And what do we got? A next pivot here is going to put us at 59.11. And then maybe we'll run into this base here around 59.44. That's going to be the game plan here on the TQs. I'm going to be patient. What do you got going on?
No, I didn't even realize you're talking about the TQQs.
Are you in it? You're short.
I just went short.
Oh, that's all right. Hey, it is what it is. It's a good short. Rejecting VWAP. I'm not in at the best price either. As you can see, we're starting to pull back. And if these pops are going to get faded, which the chances are they will, that's been the narrative of the market for the past for the past month, I guess. So yeah, I'm sitting in a potential tough spot. But what I want to note is that we're starting to recover. Are we oversold at this point? I think so. The market is still down about 2% on the day. So I'm going to hold until we breach this 58.40. And if we hold, then I'll add to the position. But if it breaks lower, I'll just get out.
Yeah, I don't, shoot. I didn't even really realize that you
that's okay. Like, if
I don't really like going
against
out. Because then, like, when I celebrate this 40-handle winner, it's kind of like against. No, just joking, man. It's only 25. But there it is. So we're starting to cover a little bit right there. There's the. So Joe, so I basically did almost exactly what you were saying there, and it was just trying to trade it off the rejected VWAP. And I mean, that's really all that we were doing there. And I talked to Obi about this, and it's like, okay, here we go, man. I'm gonna get at another piece. We're out of. If I get filled, I'm out of 20%. Let's see if we can get this down in there. I'm bidding 50s. Okay, look at that rip back up and move back into the 60s there. This is a pretty easy trade for me. I mean, I think there's a chance that we could both actually win, especially whether we have different timelines and time frames here. So let's just wait to see if this can come through for us right now. We just covered about 15%. We're waiting for that extra little piece down here. It just came in a little bit quick. Whenever that happens, like that's the largest move down all afternoon in 1 minute. Okay, boom, here we go. No, I'm not doing that because I don't want you to be.
No, I won't feel any type of way.
No, it's not that. It's not.
If we get into 58.40s, then my thesis is wrong, and that's okay. I'm not always going to be right.
You're getting out here, so that means I'm going to cover.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna hop out of here because like I should have been like, why am I going to follow this trend? This is a little bit of a chase trade, right? Like I rejected here, should have been out with the inability to crack through VWAP. There's nothing to do with your style of trading. If anything, it's mine because it's like, Joe, you went on this run now from 150 all the way up until 250 roughly here, guys. And it's like, okay, you're going to have to wait for a pullback. I didn't wait for this pullback because the chances of getting in around this level and then you go back and test up there are pretty good, I think. I do believe that we hold around this support level, which can now act, was once resistance, can now act as support because you see we have a double touch here. So I'm going to look for this to hold, and you can see that we're currently bouncing off.
Great call. Now. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully both wind up winning here. We are now out of 40% of that as it comes right. Oops, that's NVIDIA. I wanted to say, I was going to say the 50-period moving average. Same thing's happening on the Qs. We just covered a little bit right there again. We covered half of what we have left, man. I mean, this is a $3 winner at the top. It's only $2.50 right now, but we covered it right there. Whenever we have, and just, you know, you guys are asking for the next trade. Wow, that was great call there at 40, by the way, guy. You know, now you're starting to. Again, love trading with Neil, love all of that. But I mean, some of the perspectives that I'm getting from Joe and from Obi and all this kind of stuff and the different trading style, definitely appreciated as well. But yeah, so you guys know that we trade trend. And if that, when you have this move up, I talked about this with Adam or with everybody, they're looking for reasons to hold on to something. And I mean, if you're going to do that, look at this ride all the way up the 50-period moving average. Start taking pieces out as we extend, right? And it's not like these are crazy scalps. These outs are like 50 cents away from each other, you know? So it's like we do have some good moves there on NVIDIA, but then when it tries to break the 50 period, that's a signal for me to get out of half of what we had left. And oh boy, Joe, great call on that one. Look, the futures come right into that 50 period moving average. So we start hammering the out as well. We've got another piece out there at 60 as we start to make that move right back up. So let's see what can happen right here. Maybe the best is happening where we can both catch that, as well.
Coffee.
I just chugged that coffee there.
Yeah.
It's like,
you guys were racing to roll up the rim, man.
I can't believe that, honestly,
This guy keeps,
like when he said he lost, I was just like, yeah, of course you did. Like, all we're doing is losing, and then here we go.
He doesn't
I don't
win.
know. Yeah, you can't see me. But anyways, that it's a winner.
It's a winner.
Like when he said he lost, I was like, okay, there we go, finally. And he's like, psych.
Psych.
Winner.
Guys, yeah, those
Chicken dinner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, coming back in here, Sean. So let's see if we can punch through VWAP. If we get anywhere 59.20, then maybe I'll just look to take a little bit off just to be safe. And then now you risk off going back to the break even. Yep. But you can see the ebbs and flows of this market here, Sean. And you just continue to climb higher, and then you reject key levels. So yeah, let's wait. Going to be patient. TSLA here, guys. I'm back into this. I like this on the dip buy as we pulled back, holding VWAP as well. You can see the strength within the TQs. That can be a positive sign. I wouldn't mind if we got our little rally on the imbalances, so we'll have to wait for those to come out. But I do think with this recovery here in the market that we can break through VWAP on the day and then maybe hold above it too. So, yeah.
All right, we do have a super chat here from Jedi. What do you think for NVIDIA? I didn't even realize there was a summit next week. Could it move the stock? Could it? Yes, Jedi. It could. And I mean, the thing is too, I just think a lot of these names like an NVIDIA or anything, you know, where we get upgrades, we get downgrades, we get this, we get that every day on these stocks. I think NVIDIA is actually holding up quite well. I mean, I don't think there's any other really play in the space. So if we're gonna oh man, that's right, our charts don't have this split. But at the end of the day, this hold's been pretty good down here at 105. I mean, sure, we can get lower. I think people will be salivating to buy some shares at 100, especially down here at 94, 95 for that bottom. But yeah, I mean, look, today we have AAPL right there for Palantir. And what's that doing for Palantir today? Nothing. It's down 4%, right? The market is just going to be its own beast there, Jedi. So I think that NVIDIA, although of course we like it, I don't know, would it surprise you that they announced that, you know, AbbVie or JP Morgan or somebody, you know, again, there's a health name and then there's a financial name. You know, like some of these names are using some of this technology at the end of the day to improve their offerings. Like we know AI is a thing. We know NVIDIA is the leader. So, I mean, unless something really does change in that rhetoric, then I'm pretty comfortable just kind of like holding on to these NVIDIA trades. And again, I wonder if it's a hold, don't trade type of situation, and I get that from Kramer. It's the best of breed name. I trade it every day here on the show. I think it'll improve the liquidity maybe if there's news on the stock, but at the end of the day, this is a name that I think a lot of traders want to buy and worth holding in the long term if you believe in the NASDAQ and if you believe in this tech sort of boon that we've been having. It's been a little bit of a rough ride there. And again, the big fear for me, of course, is just political in all of this stuff, right? And that is that, by the way, we're getting ready to get a little more short here on the TQ, so it looks like a good hold. Like, I can't hold that 50 handles like that, but you did, which was absolutely...
But that's the thing. I'm only like half a risk unit right now, so it's like, okay, I'm willing. I can give myself a little bit more room in the volatility.
Yeah.
And then when the trade starts working, Shawnee, then you can get into that full risk unit and add to the position. But it's a little bit more slower of a grind here in this half of the session. So you got to sit on your hands.
Let it go, yeah.
We know the volatility is in, the VIX is increased, so you got to give those trades a little bit more space, especially if you're buying the tops, because we know that they're getting faded, right? So we need to take that into account, and this is what you have to sit through, right? And Sean's right, I'm down, so I'm in at 58.96, and then there's a low of 58.40, so I'm holding 50 cents against me, but again, I'm only at a half risk unit, and I mentioned before I even got in the trade, I'm looking for it to hold 58.30 and 58.40, and it bounced right off of this prior resistance level and seems to be wanting to climb somewhat higher right now as well. And I added into TSLA as this trade started to work, and again, it's going to be a little bit slower of a grind, but I added into this position, now doubling my size and looking for the crack of 870. And if this market continues to just slowly grind higher and higher, and that's what I'm ready and prepared to sit in, that's what I'm going to look for. I'm going to look for for a crack of 870, and then that's when you can get that 10, 15 cent move here in TSLL. So,
All right, yeah, great couple of calls there. As here we go, the TQ's right back up there now to the upside. I mean, the thing is that forget about that. We're both trading TQs. Again, it's triple levered. It doesn't, for us, doesn't really matter. We're just trading it technically, as Joe had just mentioned there. But there's that bounce off the 50-period moving average. You know, we got out of some NVIDIA there. That's a huge tell. You know, like when you kind of reject the VWAP, come back in, bounce off the 50-period moving average. We've talked about this a couple times on the show, how we like that as a spot where you should be getting out of the majority of your trades. And there it is right now, man. We got a little diamond hands action right here. We have $3 long in NVIDIA, $5 short right now in Apple. But again, pretty light positions. And okay, we just reloaded. Joe, we're getting ready to get stopped out, my friend. Looks like you're going to have the key to the Ferrari here as the NASDAQ makes that move higher. My stop on this is 59.20. So again, we're short here. We took 30 cents here, even a little bit more on that move down into 40s, where we sort of cleaned up a lot of this trade. Right there, 47s, 48. So that gave us about 35 cents. So right now we're back in. We just reloaded the same amount of shares. We're not like, tripling up here. The market could easily rip through this VWAP. And again, I'm not sure why TQ VWAP is so much different than the Qs themselves, but right now we're going to watch out for that as here we go. We're giving this a little bit more room. We're short at 90 right now on the triple Qs, hoping for a little bit of a down push here. That is for sure. So Joe, that's what I'm working with right now.
Nice.
Let's go over to find something else. Palantir, what a great trade. What a great trade today for Palantir. Still down, but again, this bottom, we have to trust it a little bit more. And I do like the idea of maybe using less shares in an environment like this because it is pretty whippy at some of these levels. And if you do like it, you're going to get stopped out sometimes holding on to something and waiting for that ultimate bottom. So we did get stopped out there when it broke through right here, that wick bottom at 78.50. Now you're starting to head a little bit higher, but look what's happening right now. Very similar to the futures. You are right here taking out the, let me zoom in a little bit. Taking out VWAP right now at Palantir and now looking to test that 10 o'clock high right there of 81, what level is that? 81.10. So here's the play. I'll probably do this. Looks like whatever. We're about 10 handles away from getting stopped out on the TQs. We can net this trade right now and just get out and not even worry about it, but let's see if it falls back in. What about a break of 81.10 right here on Palantir? It doesn't really give us any ideas from yesterday at $81 because it didn't hold, it wasn't a key level, but if we break that level right there, it's above VWAP, so you get all the VWAP traders now panicking because if it breaks that in the hour of power, which we're in right now, may not come back. So shorts will probably have to cover that break. So looking at Palantir breaking 81.10 or so, we'd like to get stopped. We wouldn't like to get stopped out, but if we wind up getting stopped out of this TQ trade, then we will look to go into something long. NVIDIA is really working, man. I mean, This stock is right here. Okay, but look what NVIDIA is doing though. I'm gonna get out another piece here. We have enough bullets to fire. That's the thing about holding on to a little bit of shares and using a little bit of a bigger size is that once you come into some of these levels, you can get out like that. So there we go. We'll take another out right here on that. Okay, Joe, I have to address this because we are falling back in here on the TQs and on the futures. So I am going to put some more out here because we'll take advantage of that reload right there and get another piece out. So here we go. Give me that 77. Am I at 77? I'm at 74s. I'm going to get, I should have been at 77. I thought I was. All right, we'll put another bid there at 77. And, it doesn't. Okay, there it is, 77 and 74s. All right, Joe. The bear may be printing a little bit here. So here we go. Oh, yeah, this is a nice move down again. I hate talking like this, dude, because I know you're in it too, but you've already explained it.
I'm out now. I'm out.
Bang! All right, let's go to the short side now then, baby. You covered up there.
Yeah, I covered.
Great job.
Broke up there and I got out. I seen the tape flip. I'm like, let me get out of this trade.
Nice.
Because there wasn't enough momentum. I wanted to see that volume and the momentum kick in, and I didn't see that as we broke through VWAP. I'll pull up the chart. I got TSLL up here. But here we go. I'm positioned better in TSLL, but you can see, it's like, okay, Joe, you didn't hold it for a 1-to-1, and no, I didn't, right? Because I held it all the way here against me, but I'm only at half a risk unit. And when we broke view up, I'm like, I want to see that time and sales start hitting above the bid and above the ask. And I didn't see that. And as soon as we turned around above the indicator, I'm like, this isn't right. The price action doesn't seem right. Let me get out of this trade because Katina Man's onto something with the short side. And then now you can clearly see that definitive weakness here, guys, in the TQs. So that's just reflective of the Qs, this tape. So continuing that downward momentum, I guess some of these big names are going to start selling off. I want to take a look at what MSFT is up to. I have a good feeling that it might be a suspect there. No, but it's not. It's holding up pretty good. What's NVDA up to? Still holding up.
You know
there.
What NVIDIA is up to, by
yeah, yeah, you're right. You know what it's up to.
Nice move.
Apple still hovering around those ends. So what is it? Google or Amazon that's really dragging everything down. So yeah, I mean everything's a little bit stagnant right now. No crazy momentum, even though we are selling quite aggressively here in the TQs. Gonna hold on this position in TSLA until it comes to my break-even stop. And it looks like with this momentum to the downside that we might go into those levels here, Sean.
Oh man, my daughter has a game now,
nice.
April 5th in Peterborough.
In Peterborough,
So we'll face those Pete's and see what's going on over there.
Right?
See if we could deal with them at some point. You're still playing hockey. You on the ice tonight, or?
Well, my buddy. No, it's a bye week, so we start playoffs next week. I told you
Sick.
that. Yeah.
You guys made the playoffs? I know you were.
Yeah, we made the playoffs.
Good, man.
I told you I was off for about like a month or so with a lingering knee injury. I went into the lineup last Thursday. We lost 3-2, unfortunately. Okay. But not back to 100%, but I might be at McCormick's Arena tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. So
Sure. Maybe I'll show up with a couple beers. Okay, so yeah, great to hear, man. And how is the knee?
It's still not 100%, so we're going to take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy.
Third line minutes right now.
Don't risk anything, man. We need you back on the show. Third line minutes. You guys do that? You guys split the minutes up, or everyone?
No. Obviously, but like,
saying,
you know what I mean? Well, I'm a first liner there, you know what I mean? So you got to.
Are you? Are you one of the top?
Yeah, I'm a top liner.
I like it. We have a chicken dinner winner, and we can celebrate it now because there's 50 handles, man. We just reloaded that. So there it goes, man, the TQQs. You guys, there's a lot of people in the chat. What's the next trade? What's the next trade? And we were telling you, man, it's shorting the futures, and that's exactly what we've been doing. And we are one piece left of NVIDIA. Like, that out there on NVIDIA was pretty huge. You know what? I'm just going to punch out now. I don't really care anymore. Well, I do. But we are starting to get to the downside. So we had literally 1% left of NVIDIA. So right now, 55 handles now in the money. We'll get another piece of. So we're right back into third. Boom, that's what we're talking about. Spin it. Money. Like, I'm really not, like, I just get excited. I like that one. Oh, did you see this one? I did this one for you guys when you guys were on the show earlier. This is one of my favorite ones.
Fabian did that one, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the green one. That one doesn't get as much use these days.
Yeah, not anymore anyway. It seems like it's a little outdated, I guess we can call it.
Yeah, we need a newer model of that one. Yeah, so anyways, there goes the TQs, man. We just got some more pieces out right now. We do now only have, unfortunately, 1/3 of the position left.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about...
as we go to that, you think that guy's ever going to get invited back to Saturday Night Live? Like, potentially not. Right, I think that was from Saturday Night Live. That's why we say that. But yeah, you watch Saturday Night Live?
No.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It hasn't been that bad. I like the weekend updates. Shout out to Michael Shea and
I don't know.
The guy that's married to Scarlett Johansson there.
Like the Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Saturday Night Live.
Kimmel was never on there, but Fallon.
No, but that's Salah's show. For some reason, I just don't like it. I don't.
Oh, you don't like? Oh, but Kimmel. Oh, so you're talking about like late night?
Yeah, late night.
I watch. So the late night that I watch. Hey, can we do a poll, Ramin? Let's figure out which late night people watch, because I'm always flipping. I never watch Fallon. There's something about Fallon that just me and him we ain't. Yeah. No, so I watch Colbert.
Oh, okay. Rudy,
okay. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you. I redeemed myself. Says no. So I watch Colbert. So I was just wondering, like, maybe we could put that in the chat there. What are people's favorite late night? And I don't want to. There's no option about none. What do you mean? Oh, you have to do 4. Okay, then just say maybe none. That go with Kimmel. There's only 3 major ones, or is there another one? There's Kimmel, there's Colbert, and there's Fallon.
Yeah.
I'm talking about current.
Who's that English guy who does one too?
Yeah, but those are after. Okay, some of those are like, I'm talking about the primetime ones, the ones that are on.
But the Steve Will.
You know what I mean? Do whatever you want. Like, honestly, like I'm just trying to create some contact. Steve Wilkos? What are you? Wilkos, Jerry. I started watching that Springer So you know that Jerry Springer used to like hop these people up on like cocaine and everything like that before?
You watched the documentary on...
I tried. I watched like the first half episode. I'm just like, this is not fair. It's not right.
Yeah.
Like they would put these people basically in these like garbage hotel rooms,
everything.
feed them sugar and booze, and then they would they pay for their own flight. I mean they pay for the flight. No, but the producer would get them like all riled up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, let's just say Sharif's about to come on the show. You're like, Sharif, you know that Joe guy's really a problem. You know, like I know you don't like that guy. He's talking shit about your positions, this and that. And then Sharif comes on the show. Anyways, not that Sharif would do that. I'm just giving you an example right there. But anyways, that Jerry was too funny. I remember watching that. That was just hilarious. But I thought there was a problem when some guy brought out a horse one time. I was like, no, that's too much.
The guy who married though?
Yeah, you know that one?
Yeah, that is wild.
I don't even want to talk about it because now we're getting into some dark shit right now, stuff. But okay, so let's move on. All right, there's that out on the TQs, man. If you ever get a play where you go VWAP to the 200 period, we talked about it. VWAP to the 50, right? Out, out, out. We held a third for the dream. We got out of a piece. We still have about... We had 33%, we now have about 30%. So we didn't get out of that much because it didn't actually hit exactly down there. We got some out at 58.20. We're gonna wait there, so that's 70 handles. We're gonna now wait, again, this is the futures, right? So we shorted the top. So if you're looking at the NASDAQ, this is what we did. We just shorted right there. This is the NQs, right? Nice little drip back down in. Yesterday, we got a little carried away with scalping too much here in the afternoon. Now we're just gonna hold on for the dream, and it is a dream. Today, some of these stocks have been trading dream-like as you come into the downside. There's been really no stopping on some of the pressure here today. I did go in there and buy. So I did buy the S&P 500 at lunch. As we always say, Neil and I, at least, we don't really buy, well, we do not at all buy symbols while we're on the air. So during lunchtime there, and then I like to come back and just tell everybody. It's like I hear Jim Cramer talk about it, like he'll put out a note for his investors club, but then they don't act on it until something like 75 minutes after it must be some sort of an SEC thing there.
The travel trust.
Right, so after it goes out, they wait, and then they give you, the paying customer, an opportunity to buy or sell or whatever, and then they go in there in action, right? So anyways, it just happens that during lunch, I probably bought it around when like 12:30ish, so we're about flat on it. But again, I just look at the S&P 500 and say like, if you're not smart enough to pick stocks, I mean, I own pretty much a lot of names in the portfolio, and I'm very, very light on index, so I think we'll buy this again. We had recently bought it at the 200 period there, so we did have a slip up. I think I went in and looked, we were down about 1.47% with our recent buys here in the S&P, and I do it for our Canadian friends out there, XSP, which is the iShares CAD hedged S&P 500. So it's down 1.12% today. Again, they hedge it at the end of the day, so you can see, look at this. See, the XSP down 1.12%. The ES down the same amount. So it's a pretty cool product there. And the reason why I do that is, again, CAD hedged, and also we don't then lose that 2% both ways on the foreign exchange. So that's how I'm investing these days, trying to buy, and I'm not buying the NASDAQ because I am loaded up on many NASDAQ names. And then a recent purchase of mine as well, just as a straight equity purchase, was JP Morgan. And although I'm having a little regrets on buying that one, because I do think that banks are in trouble, and there could be quite a move down. And if you're looking at JP Morgan here on the weekly, on the daily, it's at the 200 period. So that's why I bought it. Again, I'm trying to buy high quality companies in and around these levels. So I don't really have too much of a problem doing stuff like that. But then what I did was I actually looked a little longer on the weekly. There's a long way to go, man. We're just at the 50 period, so that gives me support as well. But when I look and looking at some weekly candles, it's been a bad 4 weeks, that's for sure. 4 straight down weeks followed by 4 or 5 up weeks. So we do give that back. But at the end of the day, I really think there could be some support, but it's not really until this 200 or 190. We have the Zoom feature, I'm not gonna do, you guys can all see, but down into here is where I'm thinking that maybe some of these banks might settle halfway between the 50 and the 200. So somewhere in here, 190 to 200 for JP Morgan. So I'm holding off on buying this bank until we get a little bit of positivity here in the market, or maybe some talk about the bank sector as a whole. We do know that BNP Paribas and some of the banks there over in Europe have been trading really well. And pretty much most indexes worldwide, Mr. Worldwide, are up other than the North American markets. So, all right, what does this say? What is, oh, so you know these guys got it here. What is your fave talk show? So, so for me here, I'm going to go with Colbert because, again, look, the wife and I put it on, man. We lie in bed and watch it, and in 5 minutes we're out. So, all right.
You see, look, none.
I know, but come on, the none is not, this is what's your favorite?
Yeah, Gutfield.
Who? Okay, well,
does Piers Morgan fall in the same realm there?
Piers Morgan?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Isn't Piers Morgan? He was on CNN, and then I think he went a little nuts against.
Maybe,
I think it was that COVID. Not that he went nuts, but I think he had some strong opinions there.
Very
I don't know.
strong.
I know he's not. Yeah, he's big in Britain.
Yeah,
sure.
really, really,
yeah,
really
I just don't know if he's. Well, you guys know. Adam, you here? Anybody? Piers Morgan? Who is Gutfeld? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I'm curious
who that is. Greg Gutfeld. Are we being? Oh, it's a Fox guy. Okay, so here we go. All right. Yeah, this is late night talk show. Yeah. It means no one's really heard of this guy. So I'll watch some. Yeah, I think there it is right there. Conan O'Brien. I mean, Conan O'Brien's one of, yes. He wrote for Simpsons during some of their best times. Okay. He also wrote a lot for Saturday Night Live during their best days as well. Conan has a great show on as well. He travels the world. I think it's on Apple. It's a pretty fun show to watch, yeah. You know who else I like? Eugene Levy. He has a show on Apple where he travels around as well, yeah. So anyways, I like that. You ever watch Schitt's Creek?
No, I never.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun show as well. All right. Redo the poll with Gutfeld. No, Marty. I'm not going to do that. But thanks. Shout out to Marty here. Yeah, Marty's a good friend of the show. There it is right here. He will. Yeah, apparently he will win. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
I mean, like what I've been reading.
What time is this guy on?
Gutfield. I have no idea. I'm not.
Is he on at 11:30? I'll watch him tonight.
I'm not a late night TV guy.
I'll watch him tonight. Well, is he on Fox at 11:30? All right. Yeah. All right. We'll watch that. All right. There. All right, you know what?
Everybody wants the poll redone.
Let's redo the poll then, if you want to. If Ramin and I don't know. We're trying to be men of the people over here and women of the people, and I don't know if we should do that again. These guys are busy, but if you want to put up Gutfeld, what does this guy look like?
Yeah, what is?
We will get back to trading. I'm going to look this guy up here.
Greg. I thought I was about to take some off here, Katina, man. We got a nice little.
Oh yeah, I recognize this.
You know this guy? You see him?
You recognize this guy right here?
No, I don't really recognize him there.
I recognize him. I've seen this guy before.
Interesting.
60 years old. He looks great for 60.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Probably
Greg Gutfeld. Flames Democrats. Yeah, we knew that being on Fox. Okay, so we'll figure that out, but thanks for everybody there. We will get that. Okay, so right now Donald Trump's talking, I guess. Trump asked Supreme Court to intervene on the birthright citizenship. So again, I'm trying to think about what stocks may be affected by that. Healthcare, I don't know. Birthright citizenship, maybe nothing to do right there. But again, just more talk here. Get ready. Obviously, Donald Trump is speaking, so we could get news at any time. We're lucky enough to have Adara on the desk, so if there's anything that does cross, she will bring us that. All right, so I don't have any news here other than waiting for the TQs to go through. Apple's at the low or near the low of the day here, down another 2.5% today, still getting weaker. What names you guys want to trade, man? What reported last night? We had Sentinel-1 reported, so let's go have a quick look to see what Sentinel-1's doing. They were a disaster last night, by the way, and it looks like they're recovering a little bit here today. So wow, a little bit. Nice recovery there yesterday. Look at this. Wow, Adara. Adara and I were covering this name. Sentinel-1 made it all the way back to Greensville.
That's crazy.
Today. So I said this yesterday, man. I like some of these cybersecurity names. I like CrowdStrike. I like PanW. I like a lot of these names heading into this year, man. I really think they can hold out. And right now, CrowdStrike beat up. I was talking to my guy Mateo in the back. He was talking to me about Sentinel-1, and I said, hey, man, just go to best of breed. Go to CrowdStrike or go to PanW. But I didn't realize Sentinel-1 retraced all the way today. That's a lot stronger than I thought. Both of these other names are down today. Palo Alto, for me, our charts keep do not show the split properly ever, obviously. So we'll pull this down. I do have that suggestion in, of course. So you're at the 200 period moving average. This is a name that I've been buying for a long time. I'm not going to buy more, but if you want a safe name, a lot of you are looking for names that maybe don't really are going to be affected by the tariffs. I don't see cybersecurity being a tariffed idea because, again, software, and I think that would be a fine spot there. So we'll wait to see what happens there with Palo Alto coming in. Another name that we've looked at over the last couple of days is Google there. Another beat up name. The trade was VWAP. So Obi and I had this idea, and we talked about it live on the show, of course, and that is that appreciating VWAP at the close, or at least into the afternoon show, because if you're underneath it, I feel like the push lower is easy. So we'll wait to see if that does happen there for Google as well, possibly a 164 short if that comes into play. But you know what's happening now? So this is actually the setup that we're looking for right here. What's your name again, Joe? Just playing around. Joe, we've had so many people sit in that chair. Right here. So what you're doing is you're barcoding right now. So it's making a decision on low volume, so that's fine. If you break lower, this is a spot right now where you could really load this position up, meaning that you have an out that is like 15 cents away. You know, you break that bottom, you throw your hands up, and you say you win. But if we bounce off the 200 period, I would probably play the other way, right? Wait to see if it comes up here, then short. We're down on the day. We rejected VWAP, and we're breaking the 200. So for me, let's flip it on its side here in the trade that I would prefer. If it comes up to 163.25 or so, you could basically hold that until 35 there. Even if you put on 500 shares, like $50 worth of risk, right? I mean, you put on 10 cents. If it hits that top, then falls down like it's done about 5 times, you can either rinse and repeat it, make that $50 as many times as you can, or you get what's happening right now where we have this break lower. So why don't we try that? We could sit there. Joe, I went out and got a coffee. Oh no, we put this trade on before. So IBIT, we were looking for that to break the low of the day.
Okay.
And actually we're nowhere near. I thought IBIT, we did have this trade. We put on a couple hundred shares. We sort of talked about that earlier. If we did break 80,000, which is right here, 45.40, then we would try this downside play. But again, IBIT's kind of doing the same thing, hovering around the 200, hovering around the 50, looking like it wants to do something. But at the end of the day, nothing's really happening. So the future is bouncing around. Here comes Google. See, so here you go. Maybe you do get a little bit of a play here off of that. So we'll wait for it. Okay, here we go. Because I don't know. Here we go. Okay, so this has changed. Oh, now we're doing something completely different. Okay. We still don't have this Greg Gutfeld on here. All right, so out of all of this, I was a Letterman guy, so I'm selecting Letterman. I love Letterman, man. I love his top 10. I love how he went to I can't remember what it was anymore, but there was a convenience store right beside him. That guy was on the show all the time. Not Rufus. What was his name? Anyway, someone in the chat will remember it. But great, man. Him and Paul, he was Canadian, his sort of guy on the piano there, Paul Schaefer. Okay. I used to really like Letterman. I miss Letterman now. Letterman has a goat beard game on right now.
Yeah, he's looking good. Do you ever watch that Netflix show?
Yeah, Interviews with Letterman.
Yeah, this guest needs no introduction or whatever it may be. So, but yeah, I think we're going to...
Leno was pretty good. The guy had a lot of cards. All right, Adara, what's up?
Yeah.
Keep an eye on this Avid exchange here. About 3.2 million shares traded so far today. It is not halted, apparently, though. Kind of looks halted. This one on watch here with some talks or some reports here that the company is considering a sale. They've apparently received some takeover interest from buyers, as reported by Bloomberg. So Bloomberg reporting that AVDX could be in talks to explore a sale, or I guess go private here, guys. Back to you.
I mean, Tina Man was talking about, like, Joe, that's a good call on getting out of this trade, and that's what I did. I just hopped right back out. But then you can see that it held these levels again, but I got a much better entry. So what Sean was referring to earlier with Google is that you see that it's in this barcode type price action and consolidating to the east. But what you have is also clear risk parameters. And that was the case here in TQQs for my second entry here, guys. I was looking to buy the bottom of the range. We got a pop above it. I take off about 33%, and then we come right back down, and I get out of the trade because it looked like that momentum was going to breach it to the downside. So that's why you look for those specific ranges. And even in this heightened volatility market, what you have to do is you have to give your stop a little bit more room as well, too, guys. So I took some off the top, but then that just will bring my stop all the way back to break even because it is 30%. So this is a positive trade, but imagine I was holding 66% of my position as we continue to move to the downside. Now that winning trade is turning into a losing one, and that's not necessarily something that I personally like to do. So just a little bit of some TA, and we're looking like we're going to break down here, Katina, man. You're still short the TQs from 58.96. We're now at 58.26, so that is a nice 70-cent winner, though. And the market is tanking here, guys. Tesla continuing to move to the downside, putting in another leg, but the Qs most definitely dragging a lot down with it. So NVDA, Google still hovering around those highs, just below VWAP, and now coming down. NVDA is still holding above the volume weighted average price, which is a positive sign, but not a good look in the overall market here, especially with the TQs using a 2 or 3x levered product. You're going to see a 2 or 3 times a percent move that what may be in the actual underlying asset. So it's a lot more aggressive to the downside there, guys. Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at. I had IBIT on my mind this morning as well, too, as I usually do. But the thing is, this asset's just not in play. There's a big issue. We're down 3% again. I don't know how much we recovered yesterday. It was 4 or 5% maybe, or even 3. But now we're heading south of where we opened up yesterday and giving back the majority of those gains that we kind of recovered from. So not a good look here. And when the market was rallying somewhat this morning, Bitcoin wasn't participating. So that can just tell me that this underlying asset is significantly weaker than the rest of the market. But not a good look as the market continues to move lower and lower. Now at 58.04, almost $1 in the money there, Sean. So good trade there. Way to fade the volume weighted average price on that trade. So yeah, that's what you want to do. It seems to be the continuous narrative here, guys, in this market environment, is if when you come into key resistance zones, look for those indecision prints and look to fade those trades. So yeah, here it goes. The market continuing to move lower, and we'll call it a touchdown right there. Neil and Sean on that TQQ trade, my friend.
Joe, you're looking mighty fine.
Yeah.
Any chance you're going to the
club tonight?
I haven't been to a club in too many years. But there it is to the downside. There goes the TQs. So Obi's been messaging me, and I'm going to leave some details out, but he says it's spring break. Yeah. And
I told him
he is liking Miami a little more than he maybe thought he would.
I told him, why are you going for one night?
Yeah, Randy asked me because I was like, hey, Randy, you want to come on the show, blah, blah, give Joe a little bit of a break. And then he was like, yeah, where's Obi? And, I reminded him that he had been gone over to Miami. And he goes, how long is he staying there? And I I thought he said one night.
Yeah, he's going for one night. You say, hey, man,
this guy's a maniac right there. Maybe now he'll stay for 2.
I would.
I'm gonna tell him. Maybe it's on me if he can find. Yeah, man. He's paying $90 a night in that room.
I'll stay for you.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe we can all get $90 in super chats, man. Let Obi stay a little bit and have a little bit of fun over there.
You know I'm sure they'll start.
We can probably support that, but yeah, no. All kidding aside, man. Apple's $6 in the money, touching the lows. It doesn't matter how much it's in the money. We have this very, very small piece, but it's at day's low, which is like pretty sad. Me and Brenda were talking back and forth about like, should we be selling or not selling, buying? I mean, selling. I'm not selling at these levels, but I think that ship has sailed, or has it? Oh boy, shout out to Obi again, because right now, there was a little bit of volume coming in right now into the TQs. We just get a great fill down there in the mid 70s as now we're really falling out, man. And that was a real good reload and a really good hold. We have 15% left still. So this is a great trade, man. We should be putting on our glasses right now. See this a little bit clearer. You know what else I wanted to check out here was DJT. We're on one again today, man. We yesterday was not a rough afternoon, but just too choppy. We didn't get the carry forward there yesterday in the afternoon. It looks like we are getting it right now again here today. Look, I'm really proud to be, one of the lead traders here at I don't know how many other ones there are, at Real Trading. And it's just like trying to show everybody the opportunities that are here. It's been a great market. Look at DJT today. So again, there was that crypto news early. Adara brought it to us, man, or I think it was Brendo actually and Sharif, my bad, on the morning show when we talked about that, and we kind of was like, huh? What's up with crypto and DJT? Well, if you're paying attention at 8:30, which obviously me and you, maybe we weren't, because we should have shorted as well. Those were great opportunities. Can you imagine this went up to $22, now 19? Like that has been no love at all for DJT here this afternoon near the bottoms. I want to check it out. I'm not hating on this stock. I know there's a lot of traders that are holding this long, but again, no matter what side of the aisle you're on here politically, there's not much behind this stock. You know, I don't know, the True Social, we don't have it here in Canada. We looked for the app. It's not available here. I don't know what exactly, because most of the posts, I guess that like I follow Donald on Twitter and on Instagram. I think a lot of them get reposted. So I don't know if there is a value to
Doesn't everybody
Truth Social.
Everybody just takes Donald's truths and then puts them on X essentially.
That's what I mean. And it's not, and I'm not saying this against the stock. I just, when we're trying to buy good names, you want to know they don't make money. And I just don't know what the end game is for those, and maybe you guys can tell me, like, I don't know what the end game is for DJT as a whole. That's all. I don't know what that is. I'm not, you know, trying to downplay that name. It's just like True Social's already, it was DWAC, it was really popular as a SPAC, and it does have a $10 value that DWAC had, but now we can go well below that value, right? Nikola was like a $70 name at one point, down now bankrupt and down to
zero.
But
I mean, Truth's not making any money. Did they only bring in like $1 million or something?
That's what I'm saying. I know they had $5 million in revenue.
Yeah, exactly. So
we almost have that much. Like it's not. Maybe I should say. Okay, Adara,
yeah.
Yeah, just keep an eye here on the market. This is the NASDAQ. We have comments coming from Zelensky of Ukraine, the president there. He's saying that Putin is preparing to reject the ceasefire, but he's scared to say this directly to Trump. We know earlier today, Putin made some very mixed comments about this ceasefire proposal, saying initially that he'd be okay with a 30-day ceasefire, but that he has questions and he only wants to do if it leads to long-term peace. There are a lot of caveats there, not a lot of resolution. Now, Zelensky here of Ukraine saying that he doesn't actually think Putin wants this to happen at all, saying further that Russia is apparently setting conditions on the ceasefire to try to delay it or make it not happen at all. So more ceasefire talks as this market pushes lower. Just wanted to let you guys know, due to that push lower in the NASDAQ. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Adara.
Yeah, anytime, right?
We got a $14 super chat, 14 Canadian donation to the OB Miami Fund. There you go. They started coming in. So OB.
Love that. We love OB.
Getting some donations. But yeah, guys, here, just to focus on the market, we are starting to trade within a range. We are breaking down in some names as well, too. You can see that the TQs took an additional leg to the downside. So I'm not going to chase it anymore. I was looking at this prior resistance, but now we went to the lower end of the range and seem to be holding, but I don't know if I'm ready to grab a bounce. There's nothing from a price action standpoint to tell me like, hey, get involved in the market right now. I was going to short Tesla at the break of VWAP, but I'm like, it's been holding it relatively strong throughout the session, so I don't want to chase it all the way down here. Maybe we'll get a lower high constructed, and then maybe we can sell the tops of it and look for VWAP once again. But I think we're just running into the realm of an oversold condition. I don't know how many, and that's the funny thing here, Sean, is that the sellers don't seem quite exhausted, and that's why I'd be okay with some sideways price movement, because that might indicate, hey, sellers are slightly exhausted, buyers are starting to accumulate some shares, and that's when we can get that oversold bounce. But with today's price action, it doesn't seem to be the case. Like the NASDAQ down 1.6%, we got the SPY down 1.25%, so it doesn't seem to be the case that, like, yeah, sellers are done selling yet, so we have to be really patient. I mentioned widen those stops. If we look at the VIX, you're going to see that it's probably been heightened again. And a matter of fact, I will pull it up right now to see if we spiked over 30 for the umpteenth time in the past couple of days. So I'll pull up my trading view and we'll take a look at the VIX, because if we have climbed higher, then what does that tell us? That there's going to be more volatility and some more potential downside here in the market. Okay, so that's a 3 month. That's an OB time frame there. Here we go on the daily. So yeah, we tapped into about $30. We went into here on the VIX, guys. So options market still pricing in some more potential downside. This is the daily, so a high of 26.18, and the previous 2 days we went into $30, so, or not $30, but 30 in the fear index. So just continue to use this as a gauge. If we continue to climb higher on the VIX, that might indicate that the market isn't done yet pricing in the effect of these tariffs, and I think that's what we're getting at right now. The market is pricing in some fear, and then that's why we see elevated levels here in the fear index, the volatility index, that is the VIX, Sean.
I just want to give people an idea of the kind of trading that we do here, I do, and so does Joe. I mean, we all sort of have to manage risk. When I was in this position, I had told you to stop, and I just canceled the stop, and I'm going to explain why. Was 59.21. So we just went back over to here and we found this top right here, 59. That's this wick right here into this area. That's 59.20. We just gave it 1 more cent to the upside. So just to tell you how this game can sometimes be one of just pure luck, to be honest with you. That high is 59.15. So we're short now at 96. So we are giving this about 25 handles, exactly 25 handles. So the fact that now we're in the money 100 handles gives us 4-1, fine. But we were just like, again, 6 or 7, what's up, Joe? 6 or 7 handles away from stopping out of this trade. So now okay, now we're coming back in. I was actually just listening to what you were saying, and I was like, yeah, we probably are getting an oversold bounce. But right now, coming back into this bottom, I mean, 57.75. We'll just take another piece out there. We'll see if we can get into the very lows. I'm going to put a bid down there just in case, Joe. We do get run to the downside. Let's put out half of our position. Now, just quickly, why we canceled our stop. 25% of this position that we have left, which is now down to 15%. Actually, just took a fill there, now down to 12.5%. We're going to get out right here at the 200 period. So we're going to get out of a quarter of what we have left right there. So we're going to try to get some more 2.5 as the TQs just continue to crash. Gold, I mean, that was something that we just put into our portfolio. We put GLD in the portfolio, I believe, at 234-ish. Yes, that's about right. Gold, I think, today is all-time highs again. So props it up to anybody looking at gold today, because we finally put it in, and Adara was obviously with me on the After Hours show, but I remember talking about it. It's not 230. Is it 230s? No, not 234. That's down here. It must have been right here, 254, I think. Yeah, we got gold not even too long ago, right into here, 254, not 234, 254 right there, with just a relatively new position for us in GLD. Again, just looking to break there. Back and forth. It doesn't move that much, so I took the risk on that break. So we're in on this consolidation right here, 254 GLD, taking out the highs. It's a light position. I don't have very many shares in this, probably about not even 1% of my long-term portfolio, I would say, but looking to get more gold. We probably should take advantage of that, but there it is right now. Congratulations to Peter Schiff.
Another one.
As gold gets down to the downside right now. Bitcoin downside, as Peter Schiff was saying. Look, the guy's been wrong for a very long time on Bitcoin, but it looks like the gold bug in him has worked out quite nice as GLD oppo what the market's doing right now. But the TQs, oh boy.
Yeah, continue.
See, I'm going to take out 1% now. I don't really, some of these dips, give it to me. Yeah, there it is, 54. So good trading there. We actually just left the TQs alone until we got that VWAP push. And we actually just posted that up here on X as well. We tag our good friend Brian Shannon because honestly, it's not about, there he is. What's up, Brian? 350,000. Good job, Brian. But right there, we just said waited for the market to get back to VWAP and we shorted. It was pretty simple. We waited for this trade. We talked about it. We waited for it. Boom. Down. Now we're down here. We're a lot lower than where we are right now. But there it is, man. Nice good trading there on this as it gives it up, man, into 57.40. So it came right into those levels. I'm sitting at 57.35. So we just got to fill there at 56. I'm actually going to wait a little bit lower. Yeah, 30 is fine. Let's just wait at 35. We'll put that bid over there again. 57.35. Looks like it's coming in to print here. 57.35. We'll put that 2.5% there. Hopefully we get to the downside. Apple now. Whoa. All right, before we go to Adara, Apple, $8 now, spinning it down into there. Dude, if we had held this, man, Obi could stay for a couple months, but unfortunately, we did not. Nice downside at $90 a night. Down here, 209 for Apple. Crushed. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye here on FXI, this one dropping lower. I mean, so is the market, but it is worth noting here, we do have a headline about China. Apparently, senators in the U.S. introducing this outbound investment bill to counter China. So basically, I guess, bills with regards to where or how much money is allowed to be invested outwardly. So keep an eye here on FXI, dripping lower here, guys. Again, senators introducing an outbound investment bill specifically to counter China. Back to you.
Wow. Yeah, like more China news, obviously not going to be good for names like, by the way, remember when we talked about Starbucks being a short at 115? Right now, $96 for Starbucks. So that looks like a pretty good pullback. In just 8-10 trading days, you make this huge move down there on Starbucks. But all right, we just got real close, man. You know what it went to? We were bidding 35s. It went to 38s. Right there on the TQs. Hopefully we can get it fall down in. Now again, we have 12.5% left of this or something like that. You know what? Maybe that was the bottom. I'm gonna bid some 50s here. Ooh, what's going on now? All right, all right, whatever. I punched a little bit out there at 60s. Let's see if we do get this fall back in. I guess I can cancel my 55s because I took 61s there. Oh, here comes 55. Oh well. It's a little bit out there. Sometimes it's better if I don't look at these stocks. But Apple is there. Maybe we'll just cover now. It's 340 coming into those imbalance. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's a decent green candle. All right, I'm covering. Wow, Nvidia's really getting it too. All right, you know what? It's still going lower. Let's just use this as our stop then. Let's go into here. 209, we can just do it right here live. 209, we're doing it live. 209, I'm pushing the wrong button. 51, okay. Hyundai P.
Hyundai P.
Enter.
Oh.
That failed because I have another stop. All right, you know where my stop was on Apple for this trade? Oh no, that went out, 213. No, 213 was my last stop. Okay, wow. I guess that stop, we don't have to worry about it. 209.51, it should go out now. Yep, okay, accepted. So there it is. We're gonna have to watch out for Apple now. But I just did move my lines a little bit there. Now I can see already, oopsies. My level 2 is now a little bit off. Let me just move this over a little bit more. I still feel like I've done something.
Patrick Riley says, I'm going liquid next week just to go to cash out.
Like a liquid diet or liquid?
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about going liquid just yet. You don't want to sell at these lows. Unfortunately, we might have to sit through a little bit more pain. And that's what I think I'm going to do here, right? I told you guys earlier today what I had going on with Tesla and a lot of the tech names that I was involved in and have been involved in for the past year and a half. But there's no chance that I'm going to sell out these lows. I'm going to wait for this oversold bounce and then look to get out and maybe start to get a little more liquid. But here we go, still grinding lower in the TQs, so not a good look. Tesla breaking through the volume-weighted average price. Keep that in mind, guys. David Surzak, I messaged you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. It's an 11% expected move here in DocuSign on the earnings recall. Brian Herman, thank you for the $2 super chat as well. The team you guys got there is amazing. No, you're amazing. I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, I'm not in anything right now.
I just shorted Tesla. There's Tesla.
So you're shorting Tesla through the volume-weighted average price. Good look there. Go ahead. Keep talking. I only shorted because I just heard something about levies and tariffs and all that affecting Tesla. I didn't even really look at the chart. I just punched the short. So there you go. I was looking.
It might not be right.
I was going to short TSLA here, but I think you need to get shorts for that. So that didn't work out. 239.51.
That's all right. Is the out there just in case? It's a 1 unit risk. We're short right now at 88s. We just got filled. Oh no, we didn't. We just got filled on something else there. Oh wow. We just got filled on our TQs, man. That 35 just printed, my guy. Jeez. That is now 160 handles.
In the money. Pops it up, man.
Dara?
So everyone, I believe, Joe, if you want to short Tesla, there's a product I believe called TSLS, which you can use. And that is just the short levered. So it's like NVDS, NVDL. Regardless, keep an eye here on Tesla, Financial Times reporting that apparently Tesla warned the Trump administration that it's exposed to retaliatory tariffs, saying that levies could make it costlier to produce vehicles in the U.S. So honestly, it kind of seems like, from what I'm understanding of this article, Tesla is trying to pressure the Trump administration into reconsidering these tariffs because they're saying, hey, if you want us to build in the U.S., your tariffs are making it more expensive to do so. So this actually could be an interesting story to watch going forward. Again, just to recap, this Financial Times reporting that Tesla is warning the Trump administration that these tariffs and levies are actually not beneficial to the company, and it will be exposed, especially with regards to retaliatory tariffs, and it's going to be more expensive for them to produce in the U.S., which we know, A, Elon Musk has promised to double U.S. production, and B, we know that the whole point of the tariffs, part of the point anyway, is Donald Trump wants more U.S. production. So this could be an issue. Back to you.
It doesn't sound as bad as I initially thought there. So, all right, you can get out for flat if you're in this stock with me. We're only in one unit. It's not, we'll just play this. We'll see if we can top off our day. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day with that huge trade, obviously, in the TQs and $8 now in this. I am bidding 67 here for some reason. That's where that VWAP is. So if we can get a little bit of a bounce, I know it's only 20 cents. I don't want to, we're only trying to get out of, again, 10% down there. And then we'll wait to see. And then I have another 10% at 50. And then we'll wait because there's a huge move down possible in Tesla, especially if this market does give it up. We only have well, it's already given it up, but we only have 5 minutes left until those imbalances. So definitely something to look out for. That's 237.75. What am I short at? 230. That's $1. So yeah, for 50 cents worth of risk, if this, there we go, we get the fill. If this trade works, I think we can get at least a here. So here we go. We'll get another fill down there. I'm going to put a bid at 238.05 for some shares as well. Maybe we get those. Here we go. Bring it on down. Right now, we're also bidding 50s for Tesla. So this trade may just work. I never thought in my wildest dreams that we'd have an $8 winner on this trade for Apple, but this has really fallen off a cliff here in the afternoon. There we go. That bottom is 208.50. I'm just gonna put a bid there, dude, honestly. And if we get it, we get it. Because these are 208. What did I say? 50. Oh boy. All right, let's go to 208.40. Well, we'll see about that very bottom. It's 208.42 is the bottom. We'll just sit right there, see if we can get that on that wick. Again, we just have a small piece, very, very small piece left on that name. All right, so we do get that bottom take there on the TQs. Now, if you guys were wondering what are these imbalances, well, they come out at 350, which is just minutes away. And this is what they look like right now. Buys, basically, UAA, Under Armour with a sell there, Coke with a buy, Pfizer, Walmart. Some of these value names looks like they might have a buy there for some dividend yield with Suncor as well there in the energy space. But at the end of the day, these are just New York names. The NASDAQ names are the ones that we'll be interested in. They coming out now in 3 minutes. So that was a great cover down there, man, for us, honestly. So that really saved the day. We only now have that 5% left of the TQQs. So yeah, whatever happens, happens there. Tesla, we only got the one fill there. Now it's trying to dance around again. So I'm not sure what this stock wants to do. Our stop is at 238.50. You know, we're red on Tesla from this earlier trade. We're just going to try to think about this now. Remember, I only went short because of that news that Adara just brought to us. And then she brought the story, and I was like, yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to be affected by tariffs. I don't think that's rocket science or anything, right? And so this trade may be a little bit, you know, we only got out at 10%, but I'm willing to hold it just to see if something does happen here into the close. Are you a big imbalance guy? No, you don't really.
Sometimes, right? I like MSCI. I prefer the bigger imbalance.
Isn't there something this week? This is the third Friday of March.
That's quad witching.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah, this week.
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Quad witching?
Oh, no, tomorrow's the 14th. Next Monday. Next Friday.
21st is quad witching. Yeah, but other than that, if there's a heavy imbalance, I'll keep an eye on it. I know the guys like to trade the Toronto market a lot with that. They get RY and some of the banks, a big TD imbalance as well on those banks. But from a regular standpoint, not necessarily my system, and that's okay. I still pay attention to it, and if I look for momentum and along those lines and we get it, then I'll look to participate. Yes. But from a day-to-day standpoint, I'm not going to rely on the imbalance or anything like that. But yeah, I'm in some, see Katina, man, we're down about 3.8% here in Apple. There's some key bottoming signals here. I'm in a little bit late, but I'm wondering if in the last couple minutes we can get a bounce. There's 10 minutes, and if those imbalances come any form to the buy side, then maybe we can start to recover a little bit. I don't think we're going to get anything drastic. We're not too heavy either. But 210 might be in the works here in this name, but that's quite a bit of a move, a point in about in 20 or 10 minutes with Apple. So yeah, a little bit of a prayer, but that's okay. I do like the signals, and if that imbalance comes to the buy side and we get somewhat of an oversold bounce, that's kind of the game plan and what I'm looking for here. Again, this name doesn't move too much throughout the day, and I think a 3.7% move is somewhat of an outlier here on Apple. We can pull it up from a daily standpoint as well too to see what we got cooking up. And we have like consecutive days to the downside. So it's not the best for the same. And I mentioned time and time again the deal that they got going on with Google as well. So we're running through some key levels. And I mentioned that 196 might be one of the future support systems that we might run into. 5 seconds until those imbalance clumb. But here we are down about 20% to the downside we're going here. Man. Yeah, so yeah, not a good look there. We are covering. The tape is strong. I'm going to hold on to this until we break the lows. Hopefully we get that. Do you see Apple on there or anything along those lines?
No, so I just want to say we got stopped out of Tesla before that imbalance, and look what just happened. It just ran the bottoms again. So we're out. Damn you, Tesla. That's what happens with these imbalances, man. Right now it's at NVIDIA to the sell side right there. We've got Rivian. Look at that nice move to the downside as well. NVIDIA's been a sell this whole week, so last 4 days for sure. I remember Obi and I talked about that every day. Pathic in the chat wanted me to find QBTS. I don't see it at all. So, I mean, I could sort, there's Apple. Apple's a little bit of a bid there, small bid. We can see what Apple's doing. I have 209 as my out. That didn't hit. Oh, man, you know what, Tesla, that's too bad that ran that. There it is, Tesla small sell as well. All right, you know what, Pathic, because I said, man of my word there, we're going to go find it. I said I would do it. So even though I can't find it, LMNOPQR, there's Q, PQ, QB, where is it? There it is. So it's buy, Pathic. So right there, a buy for QBTS of just 140,000. That's not going to do anything to the stock because today's volume is 124 million. So that's not even 1%, or just 1% of the imbalance there, of this volume is on imbalance. So, all right, so it looks like NVIDIA is going to be the big one. The TLT, of course, the 10-year treasury on there. Rivian's interesting as a bid, but that didn't really do too much there. Again, these are relatively small numbers. So I'm not, like NVIDIA, although it's a sell, obviously the market, Tesla can go directly to the car dealership because like that one was, that was tough, you see? Ran right before the imbalances and then Sharif's infamous quadunk. Was that Sharif or was that Adara who came up with quadunk? I'm not sure. But there it is, man, 238.15. Oh no. Throwing up in my mouth a little bit there as we go to the downside. But you know what? No Oman, no cry, because right here we do have a nice little downside push for our TQQ family. And we are family here if we're shorting the TQs together because this is going to be a good trade to end the day, man. We're near the lows right here of this after hour, how do you call it the after hour, of this after show. We'll punch a little bit out there at 45. And now we'll just wait to see if that bottom comes in again. That was 16s. We'll put a bid down there and see if it hits. If it does, we will wrap up the day. I'm bidding 57.21. No other trades for your boy right now. We've got Apple short. Where am I bidding this name? 208.40. Of course, it goes to 208.50, and we don't get it. Someone's, that was Sharif, says Ozan, okay. BRKB looking to sell. Someone's looking to buy, BRK.B is on the New York, looking to buy Warren Buffett's real estate brokerage. I don't know if that's tied up at all to BRKB or if that's just another asset that the man himself owns. All right, I mean, Tesla now bouncing back, so we don't feel so bad anymore. Our stop on Apple, let's just tighten it up a little bit. It was always at 209, so if it does break 209, we can get out of that one. Actually, at 209.50. Let's move it to 209.30 right now because we just missed. So we missed. So see what I'm saying? Even though it's a small piece, we missed that by 10 cents. It may have to cost us 70 cents. So that is the problem, and that's what drives me nuts here every day. NVIDIA also, nice move up there. We do know that it's a sell imbalance. Tomorrow, so tonight for earnings, we just tweeted this out. Thank you to Adara, of course, for everything that she's been doing for us.
I think we have DocuSign tonight as well.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to call them up.
I'll go over them here real quick for you guys to see what we got from the earnings whisper to see if there's any good names. I know DocuSign's going to be one of them. Let's see what else we got here on Thursday evening. There we go. Okay, so we got Ulta Beauty as well, guys, with DocuSign. So Ulta Beauty, ULTA, Semtech, SMTC, and then Crown Castle International, CCI. Other than that, maybe PD, MNR, Natural Resources there, and Grow Generation Corp. Kins as well, too, guys.
Oh, Grow Generation
Corp. So there you go. It's not Canopy Growth Generation. It is Growth Generation Corp. But then we got Li Auto in the morning. I think that's going to be an interesting one there, Katina Man, because I know a lot of traders in the chat trade that one. And then Friday evening, we usually don't have anything unless you kind of want to hide your earnings report. And Future Fuel Corp seems that they want to report Friday evening there, Sean, right at 4 p.m. So that's probably not going to be a very good report right there. But all eyes on DocuSign. I think that's going to be a positive one. I mean, very convenient. It was definitely convenient during COVID. And then Ulta Beauty is a name that a lot of traders are going to be keeping an eye on. But we're getting a nice rebound here in Tesla. I tried to get the long here on AAPL off of those imbalances, but nothing standoutish. What I did is I got out at the bottom of the range, but I should have hopped right back in at the bottom of the range, but instead it was kind of the inverse of that as we continue to climb higher. I didn't want to hold it for the break of this candle just because of the time of the day, but it is starting to recover somewhat here on the session, now trading around 309.38 on AAPL. Still down about 3.5%. Not a good look in the Mag 7 world once again here, guys. Gould down 2.7% here, Sean. Not a very good look there. Tesla down 3% once again, and the indices down 1.4% and 1.9%. So Mag 7 underperforming and continue to do so. I typed in market when I meant to type in Microsoft. Microsoft down 1.3% as well, too. And what is Amazon down here? So the leaders being the leaders, and that's to the downside here, guys. Negative 2.6% on Amazon. So not a single green Mag 7 here, guys, on today's session. So a bit of a tougher look. That's okay. Boy. Maybe we get this oversold bounce that we are looking for. Some good bottoming signals. We'll pull up the daily real quick on Apple to see if there's any form of a bottom. I mentioned on the options chain too as well. Watch out for that that 210 level, and we went right into it and then south of that. So someone absorbed all that liquidity, and then now you continue to move on that southeast trajectory in Apple. Not a very good look here. I already did from a percentage metric how much we were down and continuing to slowly grind lower. There is some key support levels that we are breaking through as well too. So 200 in the works here, and even south of that 195 here on Apple, I think is going to be in the imminent future, guys. So yeah, only a couple minutes left here in the day. What do we got? 3 minutes to be exact. If you want us to go over anything or want me to do any TA for you, I'll be more than happy and willing to do so. I'm not going to hop in anything. Are you still in all your positions there?
No, I got taken out of everything.
Okay, okay. So there you go.
Oh, we have that. Look at that. Is that new? Have we always had that timer up there?
No, I didn't see. Oh, always. Okay, always there.
Always a pair.
But I mean, you had a nice $8 winner there on Apple, and a nice short there on the TQs. So while I was getting out, Katina Man was getting into the short side, which worked out really nice for him. He shorted VWAP right here, got some move, and then continued on this whole downward movement, a second leg lower, and testing the lows of days as well too. So nice work there, over 2%, 1.8% exactly down on the NASDAQ with a low of 57.20 here on the TQs. So yeah, nice leg down. But I mean, if you want to talk about making money on both ends of the
trade. Does Selena send you stuff like this?
No, is that the car that your wife wants?
Yeah, of course. She's sending me a picture of a Rivian. Like what? I mean, we just like...
I seen you years ago. I seen you guys in the dealership, I believe there.
Shut up, Joe. We were not in that.
I seen you making videos on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's when we went. No, we went to the mall.
Oh, is that where you see?
Yeah. It was the Lucid Air.
Oh, okay, the Lucid.
Yes, man. We took pictures.
I remember you used to do stock in the streets.
It's these little things, like they'll send me like, oh, these new Uggs are really cute, this and that.
Did you get the Uggs?
Oops, I bought them. Huh?
Oh, oops. Oh, okay. Sorry.
One of those things.
There you go.
But it's funny because we just put the new tires. We have the Atlas. We talked about
you need the Uggs to match the new tires there.
But do you need 5 pairs of Uggs?
Maybe we got 4 tires.
Okay, John, maybe I'll introduce you to her, and you guys can hang out a little bit. The problem is that I have 2 women in my life. With my mother included 3, but you don't have to worry about her. But my daughter is like basically a mini Marissa, and it's
All
like,
right.
it's great. I would not want anything more. Honestly, the bond that they have is incredible, and we really
I mean, they're together all the time, going
yeah,
hockey
it's
in the
fantastic.
morning.
Okay, yeah, all right. Roll up the rim to lose. Here, you could be my, you roll this up, my guy.
I'll roll this one up here.
You just
Are we
use your-
splitting this 50-50 or what's going on? If I win the car?
If you win the car, yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is this a Randy moment? Come on! All right, Joe, thank you so much.
Anytime, my friend. Yeah, guys, let's see what we got going on. Not too much time left, only 30 seconds left until that bell starts to ring for the close on today's session. It is Thursday, March 13th. Tomorrow going to be the 14th. So yeah, good math there and good, I guess, awareness of where currently I'm sitting. But yeah, another bleeding day, another brutal session here, guys, for the longs. If you're a bear, then like Kyle Burdett, you're having a good time in this market, because when you have these multiple percentage sessions, it is quite, and day after day, it's quite a scene. And there we go. There's the bell. Another end of the day. So blood still in the streets. Are you going to be grabbing some of these stocks and some of these big names at these levels? I mentioned don't go all in at once, guys, especially if we continue to bleed like we currently are. So keep that of note if you're looking to allocate some of the Mag 7. Market's not loving them, so you got to take that into consideration and keep that in mind, guys. So not a good look. The market down to 1.7%, the SPY down 1.25%. What else do we got? We got Amazon down another 2.5%. So yeah, it's just, again, this is where coming, I guess, like, because we're so used to these names running for the past couple of years, this is, in times like this is where diversification in your account really, really matters. And I'm learning firsthand from that as well. Being tech heavy and what we've seen for the past month is not a good sign in this market. It sucks. You've been sitting in these trades for a better part of a year, even more than that, and you're just realizing, and then you see a lot of these unrealized gains really get chewed into in the past month. So waiting for an oversold bounce, and then I'm going to sit on some cash. I'm going to wait for on some names that I'm looking at to come in a little bit more and show that, like, hey, we're ready to turn around. I mentioned to you guys Hood and Walmart. Those are two assets I'm looking to acquire. We got a 50% haircut on Hood, and with a 700% increase in cryptos transactions, that's a growth cycle, in my opinion, and growing exponentially. So gonna look to get involved with Hood, close this Tesla position, hopefully on an oversold bounce, and then look to just diversify the portfolio. And that's, in times like this, it's like car insurance, right, guys? You don't use your car insurance every day, but then when it's there, it's handy, right? When you need it, it's there. And I think that's what diversification in your account really matters, right? It's like, okay, you're not going to get the type of appreciation. We know that these tech stocks are still growing, but not at the rate of I guess, like the staples, or not quite, staples not at the rate of tech or anything. But when things get a little bit damp in the market, you have that backing, you have that insurance that can kind of stabilize that downward momentum in your account. And that's why it's key to diversify. If you want to get into some energy, some staples, whatever it may be, it's just a broadening out of the account is always good, especially when you're tech heavy and you see these names coming in 10, 15%, even some of them 20%, and in the likes of Tesla, 50%, it's a tough look. So that's why you definitely want to diversify. So we're going to the market recap show here, guys. I shall see you bright and early in the morning, 8:30 sharp. Make sure you guys tune in. Let's see what Katina Man and Adair are up to at the big desk.
Man, I love Joe. Ramin was like, what should we do? I was like, just let him cook. Let him cook. There he's going on. Right there, not too many huge earnings. We have DocuSign coming out. Most of them are 4:05, so we didn't have anything immediately. We wanted to let Joe talk a little bit there. Thanks. I mean, he's still going, man, all day. Thank you, Joe, for being on the show again, covering for Neil and Obi. Absolutely fantastic, man. That guy put in some work, as you do, man. You're there. You're literally sitting there all day, making a couple runs back and forth.
My lunch here. I'm not even, my mic's on.
Your mic is on?
No, it's not.
Okay, well then, since it's not on, I'll take it over from now. Brett, I didn't realize that Brendan's got a pretty hot fade going on over there. I think he just went to his barber the other day. Right there. Okay.
What is happening?
I don't know. All right, look, man, on a day like today, we got to find some excitement in the market here, and there isn't much. It was bad again one more time. We had gold hitting all-time highs today, so that was nice. We had China There he is. Look at that handsome gentleman. We had China up today, 0.66 as well, and the utilities sector. Other than that, Adara, it was a pretty big bleed everywhere. Nothing saved today. Uranium down, industrials down, healthcare down with XLV. I don't know what else to talk about here as we go. It looks like the worst sector here, consumer discretionary, led by Tesla to the downside there as well. So it just keeps on getting worse and worse. I stepped in and thought I was all Joe Cool today and bought a little bit of the SPY. Don't know how that's going to wind up for us. But again, we're playing the long-term game. I'm just like trading, man. I'm getting in like 5% almost seems like once a week here. We got that note to say buy. If your dollar cost averaging might not be a horrible idea, man. All right, the market went right back to selling off today. We did have a nice move in the CPI. Let me just go back over to that yesterday. And then today we had PPI. And we got that bump early. You know, we actually went through the game plan earlier on. And guess what? Bang, bang, bang. Oops, Brittany, we did it again today. There's that move higher at 8:30, right? Right into there. That's 9 o'clock. The move for 8:30 that we're looking for is right here. That's that top at 8:30. I said, if we get back to that PPI level, let's fade that. The same play happened. How do I? Oh yeah, I got to zoom out. The same play happened yesterday right here with the SPY. There's the CPI top, there's the market top, and then there's the fade the rest of the day. Right here, that's CPI yesterday, there's the move, and there's the fade down immediately. So, I mean, the same kind of thing happens today. There's CPI, there's the top fade. PPI. There's CPI top yesterday. There it is off the open, fade. So the same thing happens there today. We don't go out at the bottom, which is nice, but we go out close enough to that. Looks like we bottomed in and around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock today. Nice move there to end the day. We did have NVIDIA selling off again at the close, although we made new highs today up to 118, which was nice, new highs on the week. Thank everybody for watching us. We do have DocuSign, so we're going to wait for all these to come through. The minute we see them, we have Ulta Beauty. Okay, I was actually, whoa, Ulta Beauty, let's go. Ulta Beauty with a nice move to the high side right now. That's going upside. We did have a look at Ulta Beauty, EPS looking at 710. What did we get from them? Let's have a quick little look here. We got 846 there, Adara. So it's a big move upside. If you have the numbers, we can go. We also have DocuSigns. Let's do Ulta.
GAAP earnings, 846 per share for Ulta versus 714 expected. Sales, 3.49 bill versus 3.46 bill expected. It's worth noting that Warren Buffett added this to his portfolio and then took it out of his portfolio pretty much like within a couple quarters of each other. DocuSign on watch here. DOCU, the guidance here is not ideal. Q1 guidance 745 mil to 749 mil, below estimates of 755.58 mil. But what about their earnings? They did actually beat here in earnings for DocuSign, though barely. Q4 adjusted earnings of 86 cents per share versus 85 expected. Sales 776.3 mil versus 761.31 mil expected. We also just got in here their revenue guide for fiscal 2025, and it's really not great at all. So guiding here 3.129 bill to 3.141 bill, below estimates of 3.15 bill. So it's worth noting DocuSign missing revenue estimates for Q4 and fiscal 2025.
Mr. Easy, I'm stuck in Microsoft for the next decade. Hopefully not. Yeah, I was going to say, when we went to Buffalo, we really loved Ulta Beauty. That was one of the stops that my family, of course, as we always talk about, wanted to make their way to. But look at Ulta Beauty, absolutely crushed on the daily, man. I mean, people don't have that disposable income, I guess, anymore. But good report for them today. But look where we're just ticking to right here, 320. Now, complete reversion right now back in for Ulta Beauty. You gave us that number from DocuSign. So DocuSign, again, guiding a little lower than expected for DocuSign, guiding 312 to 314 versus 315 billion. So bad guide for
Rubrik earnings as well.
Which one?
Rubrik. They were a recent IPO from last year.
RBRK, I think?
Yep. 61 cents per share loss versus estimates of 80-cent share loss. So they actually beat here. Sales 258.1 mil, also a beat versus 233. We got PagerDuty, PD, coming in here.
Rubrik though down.
Adjusted earnings 22 cents per share versus 16 expected. A beat. Sales 121.4 mil versus 119.77 mil, also a beat. So PagerDuty beating, Rubrik beating, Ulta beating, and then I think we were a bit DocuSign beat as well, but DocuSign's guidance was not great.
So PagerDuty, yeah, nice move up there. Again, another sort of AI name processing data. Yeah, $16 up to 18, but I was like, oh boy, this daily. Honestly, it's like even all these random stocks that we're looking at. We had UiPath, we had AEO yesterday, American Eagle Outfitters getting crushed yesterday and then bouncing back a little bit. We had UiPath, we had Sentinel One. Like a lot of these names just getting absolutely crushed downside, but not today. This is PagerDuty all the way back up here to $18 right now. PagerDuty, hold my pager as it goes right back there to the upside. So nice little move there. Let's just check out DocuSign and then one more that we just had. So we already talked about Rubric. What was the other name? We had DocuSign and Alta, that was the other one. So DocuSign right now reversing. So a nice little move to the upside. I was involved at DocuSign before in this area around $50, $60, and it was back into here where we had buyout rumors for DocuSign. And me and my guy Mateo were buying down in here into 50. I wind up selling in and around $60, thinking that was the top after we had no buyout at all. They were trying to go private. It was private equity trying to buy them out. And then DocuSign got a huge bump up, which I'm like, oh my God, we could have had a double up there. But there it comes back in, still above the 200 period. Looks like DocuSign, bang, a winner for now in the after hours, right? Nice move upside there for Docu there. The other name was Ulta Beauty. This was looking beautiful, and it still is. Nice move up to 330 again, but looking on the daily chart as we zoom out, yuck. Not great there for all.
Rubric guidance out here.
RBRK.
Well above estimates.
All right, Rubric guidance well above estimates. Rubric downside. Yeah, read over it, but well above, you said?
Yeah, it's better than expected.
Okay, so why don't we go over it? Because Rubric is getting that bump still, Adara.
Yeah, so they're only expecting losses of 31 to 33 cents per share. That's better than the expected loss of 40 cents per share for Q1. Revenue, they're guiding 259 to 261 million. Also better than expected of 243.2 million. So great look there. PagerDuty guidance coming out as well, and that is like not as beautiful as what we got there with Rubric. So let me pull that up. Q1 2026 revenue, 118 to 120 million, below estimates of 121.75 million. Adjusted earnings, 18 to 19 cents per share, lower than the expected 20 cent per share estimate. So they missed guidance across the board here for PD.
Yeah, we did have, thanks Adara for covering those names. I mean, again, so it looks like we have 3 or 4 big names here reporting earnings to us this afternoon. We get PagerDuty a nice win, DocuSign a nice win, Rubric a win as well. Alta, I guess, is the one right now that is the fade play. Oh no, Alta's up, so I think we're gonna go 4 for 4 here this afternoon, which is nice. Docu, Alta, and PagerDuty, along with Rubric, all holding a little bit higher. So that's nice to see. Last night, though, earnings were not the greatest for Adobe, but they'll finish today down 13%, so that's a little yucky for those guys. I am most embarrassed, not embarrassed, felt the worst for Apple. Apple has been a little bit of a problem over the last couple of days. We took an $8 winner on Apple today, which turned out to be pretty good. That one just came in the 209 and change. So Apple, we are lucky enough to be short. They're at 217 today, and that just fell right down back in. You can follow me at Trader TV Sean on Twitter, where I post up the sticky note, and we'll put some trades up there, both winners and losers. I try to post there every single day. Alta guidance, Adara's just getting right now. So let's go. Whoa, okay, that's the daily. Let's see what Alta's doing here. Guidance doesn't seem to be affecting the stock too much. Is it in line?
No, it's actually worse.
Okay.
So 11.5 bill to 11.6 bill expected for their fiscal 2025 net sales, below estimates of 11.67 billion. Comparable sales growth of 0 to 1%. Not seeing how that compares to estimates. EPS, apparently they're seeing $22.50 to $22.90. That is below estimates of $23.50. Now, also your service Titan coming through, TTAN.
TTAN, yeah, relatively new name.
They're new here. They IPO'd on December 12th, 2024. Adjusted earnings of 12 cents per share, above estimates of 4 cents per share. Sales 209.28 million versus estimates of 227.91 million. So they beat top and bottom line. PagerDuty, we also got a little bit more guidance from them. Sometimes these numbers come through Benzinga not in order, which is why I'm kind of cycling between the names. I apologize. Fiscal 2026 revenue guidance for PagerDuty, also below estimates. Their Q1 guidance below estimates. Fiscal 2026 for PagerDuty below estimates, at least for revenue. 500 mil to 507 mil versus estimates of 511.43 mil. Then we have adjusted earnings per share, which actually did beat estimates for their guide, 90 cents to 95 cents versus 89 expected.
Thanks, Adair. Here's Service Titan. I mean, I remember when this name came public, remember they had a huge bid at 102.50. Once it broke, it was see you later, alligator. I just dropped an anchored VWAP here. This is something that we've learned from Brian Shannon, especially on new IPOs. You want to see where we are on the VWAP for that. I mean, this is right there, $99. We touched it a couple times right here, but you could see like, gosh, not a great period. This is why you see names like Goldman Sachs downside, right? You see names like Morgan Stanley to the downside. As many of these big investment banks, they look to make deals, bring these companies to market, and then support them. And right now, like, who's coming to market? I mean, that last IPO, this is a big name. Service Titan getting crushed. I mean, they probably wish they had it gone public as you make that nice move down. Again, it came out at 102.50, I believe, that day, or 101.50. Down to $80 isn't the end of the world, but still a 20% haircut on that one as well. That is Service Titan. I just want to know, we just got an email from our kitchen staff, and that was that to staff, everybody. I was just wondering if there's any of you that would rather not have Granny Smith apples in the future.
My teeth are so messed, I can't even have apples anymore. I grind really badly, so like I cannot comment. I miss apples, but I can't eat them.
Can't you just cut them in pieces?
I guess I could. You're right. That's a really good point. Okay. Like I have like the teeth of like an old man, just because I would get really stressed out.
Yeah.
Through like the protectors. So
I'm wondering if my teeth in old age are getting a little more sensitive. But I like biting those apples. I don't mind a Granny Smith. To me, maybe that could be a poll. I think they could be a little tart.
I actually like them.
Ramin's saying no, she loves it. So therefore, I love Granny Smith apples as well, right there. But just an interesting email there, trying to keep things light, obviously, on the show. I'm going to respond, I love Granny Smith apples. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. How'd the dentist go? The dentist went actually really well. Thank you very much. So we did do that. Apparently, I may or may not need a night guard for grinding again.
I'm jealous.
You are?
Enjoy it. Yeah,
You want a night guard?
No, I can't. I grind through them.
Oh, you grind through? Okay.
That's the thing. It's
all right.
It's TMI, but that's
TMI for many things. I don't know. I always get very, very derailed. So let's get back on track right now. Yeah, we're doing it on purpose. We could talk stock all day, as many of you know. Okay. We also had earnings today from quantum name QBTS, which is D-Wave. Good day, right? I mean, that was a good one. So there you go, up 18% here, holding here in the after hours again. Quantum not really moving too much, but a good day again after reporting better than expected numbers and a good guide. QBTS up here to $7. Looks like that'll be a winner. This could be a day two play for sure tomorrow as we get ready for a Friday trade in what's been a tumultuous week. $7.11 the high. I wonder about this $7.50, $8.50 high there for QBTS. We definitely like that name. Dollar General. We were worried about this. Fabian was really, really loving Dollarama. Today, Dollar General gets a little bit of a bump up 6.75%. Again, another earnings name that had a decent day. I didn't look at it today, but yeah, goes out near the highs. So nice little run up there. End of day for Dollar General. DocuSign, UiPath. DocuSign was tonight. UiPath was yesterday. Again, crushed on earnings. Whoops, all the way down here. But does have a little bit of a rebound day ending. Let me go into like a 5-minute chart here. UiPath ends the day near highs. But again, battled back all day to get to 10.27, holding $10. We'll see if that can go as well. Tomorrow, Adara, interesting play. So we'll call up the SPY. We have consumer confidence with Michigan sentiment tomorrow. So we'll see what their consumer sentiment is there. That's a good print. We'll look for that. That's normally at 9:45, if I remember correctly.
It's at 10, and I actually think this is going to be a bigger deal than CPI or PPI because multiple Fed speakers have really been stressing this lately. And this number, I think, has been moving the market more than what we see with CPI, PPI. Because lately with CPI and PPI, right, we get the numbers, we bounce on these numbers, and then we drop. But because this is during the day, I find it tends to move the market a lot more when we get them, especially if they're well below estimates. Or worse than expected.
So I just wonder, though, that because CPI came a little cooler, which was better for us, and then so did the PPI. So if those are going to be consumer sentiment based, maybe we do get a little bit of a lower print tomorrow, but imagine it comes higher. I turn off the lights.
Truthfully, I think that the inflation expectation is going to be higher than we're expecting. That's what I think, especially due to concerns about tariffs. We know some people from the Trump administration or the current administration are thinking we're going to get 2.5% GDP, which is
slower.
So we're going to have to wait and find out. But yeah, I think just given the overall sentiment in the market, I have a feeling consumer sentiment lower than expected and inflation expectations, specifically the 1 year, higher than expected, neither of which are what we want.
Yeah, no, so here we go. This is the Fed rate tool. We look at this all the time. This is coming March 19th. If you were to wonder what's going to happen, nothing. A 97% chance of nothing right there, and apparently a 3% chance of a cut. If that number tomorrow comes significantly lower, then potentially the cut goes higher. But I believe May is again 2/3 chance, 66% chance right now. And this is all data dependent, so there's going to be lots of numbers before May. But 66% chance, 1/3 chance that we get the cut down 1/4 of a point. And then I believe June, it's almost 100% that we will be at 4 and 4. Yeah, so there it is. So 57% chance that we're already at 4 to 425, which is that cut. Then you get, again, maybe we're down half a point. 25% chance by this time in June, when we have that Fed rate cut meeting, we will be half a point lower than where we are now. So that's why when me and Nadera sit here and talk about some of these numbers and how important they are, and Nadera brings up Fed speak, it's because, again, they're looking at data, which they're supposed to do. They're supposed to close their eyes to the market. If inflation continues to go lower, then they will continue their rate cutting cycle. So congratulations to the Fed if they can get that going, because I think that's one of the only things right now that may save this market. All right, just talking about this heat map. We really like this heat map here that we get from TradingView. And today, Apple. So now Apple today, we've seen what happened there. Apple gets crushed today as very famous supply chain analyst Meng Chi Kuo expressed concern over, once again, Adara, iPhone shipments potentially being down there over in China month over month. So we'll wait to see. Again, supply chain, obviously pretty easy to gauge there. This guy has all the connections. He's been right before about Apple. So Apple goes 4 straight down days now. I believe it's their worst 4-day period, definitely since COVID.
I can look into that.
Yeah, I believe that to be true. Google down another 2.6%. Meta goes red for the year finally, now down 4.67%. Berkshire, guess what? Sitting on $334 billion worth of cash. So they're upside there today. Many of the financials downside. Eli Lilly, I was asking Adair about that today, breaks through the $800 mark, down another 2.5%. You know, what is saved here? There's nothing's up. Communication sector, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. I mean, this is some of the hottest sectors for sure, communications as of late. Health services seem to be a little bit better as well, but we already seen some downside plays there, especially in some of the healthcare stocks going back to UNH, and we all know all about that. I haven't heard much about that story in a while, actually. And I'm not going to say the guy's name because obviously murdering CEOs is not something that I'm going to be supporting. That is for sure, regardless of the cause. But I do understand it. There's BTC today. So Bitcoin today does not really get going, unfortunately. I thought that Bitcoin could have held that 82,000 mark. It looks like we just fell right off again. Adara, it looks like we're going to try to hold 80 right now on Bitcoin, but again, if the NASDAQ can't find a base, I don't see how Bitcoin will either. Again, pretty much a growth stock at this point. My big worry now is, of course, I know there's 4 years of this. There's 4 years of this current government that's in there. But again, what about this Bitcoin fund there, the reserve? That could get canceled on new administration, or even Donald Trump could get rid of it at any time. It's just a signature again, and poof, that is gone. So I'm a little nervous about that. But at the end of the day, hey, we still have this 73 area that people are concerned about. We'll see if that can come back in right there. That was sort of that get up spot. And if we even go back to where we were election day, that's right here. So this is that election bump. So guess what? We've wiped that all out right now, back down into 76. Well, we're not there yet, but 76,000 was the election level there for crypto. And then Donald Trump wins, and it was basically off to the races. New all-time highs. You can see it up there, 109.50 on Binance. We did have, Binance reminds me of DJT, because we did have DJT news today as well, that they were getting excited as a possible talk with CZ there. And then I believe Trump came out and said no.
Trump didn't come out and say no. CZ said no.
Oh, CZ said no.
Was
okay,
like, that never happened, or not to his knowledge, anyway.
All right. So again, possible discussions there between the Trump administration and somebody at Binance, apparently not CZ, who owns the whole thing. So we'll see if that comes through again. And again, there was talk about pardons. We know that he's in trouble a little bit. So we'll see what winds up happening. Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I mean, this is common. Biden pardoned his own son and all that stuff on his last day. So didn't pardon himself for some reason, but we'll wait to see what winds up happening there. DJT goes out near the lows of the day. Not a great look there for DJT. We talked about True Social and the rest of them coming through. So, okay, that was a little bit of talk about some of the names today. Tesla and Meta all downside today. Tesla was really crazy name there. It was pretty choppy throughout the whole day. The good thing about Tesla is, and I'm not going to say it's going out on its highs because its highs were when we opened, but it's going out at intraday highs, let's call it that. It's 242. We were down as low today as 233. So $10 jump there at the end of the day to support this name. It's finally nice. I think, obviously it's not an up day there, but if we zoom in into Tesla, hasn't been pretty constructive, but maybe that little island green down there, we can see if we can sort of hold down into 220. I'll pick up some more shares down there. Maybe not. JP Morgan continues to go downside as XLF not spared at all. The financials continue to get worse, man. I think we'll have to get some out of JP Morgan. I don't think that buy, maybe not well recommended there. XLF might be the better play. You can get a handful of all of the banks with this ETF again, with more and more restrictions and hopefully making it easier for some of these banks to succeed. They generally can do well in interest cut environments and interest rate environments as net interest assets on loan become a discussion there. But yeah, not too much to say there about the banking plays there today. I like to pick up some Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley as well on that. All right, let's just flow through just to see now as we only have a couple more minutes left. If there's any questions, put them in the chat. Adair and I don't have a problem answering some of them.
I think there might have been a super chat, but I don't know if it came in while we were here. Like,
let's answer it anyways.
You guys were there. Monty G, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. When I'm down, I can't walk away. I revenge trade and I blow my risk rules to get back to green. Any help? Hashtag OB Miami. Thank you for the super chat there, Monty G. And he also gifted 5 Live Trader TV Live memberships. So
thank you, Monty G. Very, very kind of you to do that. So, Dare, why don't you answer the question? What do you think about revenge trading?
Oh, okay. I mean, I think coming up with very specific risk rules helps. I think, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I think that I think getting up is really important. I think sometimes I think over trading is also can be a cause of revenge trading, right? You're trading too much, you're taking trades you don't need to take. And then you get yourself into a situation where you're down, or you lose in a trade you really care about, then you get upset, and then you start revenge trading. So either way, I think just get up, clear your head, splash some water on your face, listen to some music, and then come back ready to tackle the day. And also, I think come up with really clear rules. Like, I want to see X, Y, Z before I enter, and then once, X, Y, Z occurs, then I have to leave. So you have very specific parameters, and you can move your stop. But as long as you're like, once this structure breaks, I'm wrong. Once this bar breaks, I'm wrong. You have to know where you're wrong to know whether or not the trade is still worth staying. And then I think sometimes if you come up with this ahead of time, you can avoid getting into trades that you don't need to take. And that's something I'm still working on myself.
All right, so great answer there. And I couldn't agree more with all of that. I think that often I'll get caught revenge trading as well. It's like you just don't believe in that move. I just think that right now today, very dangerous, Monty G. All, because right now you're getting news-based moves. It's not necessarily that you got wicked out of a trade because your level broke. It's more like the level could break and just keep on going, especially if you are in some of these news-sensitive names. So I would just say, just like what Adara was saying there, try to stick as much as you can to your risk parameters and your rules. And I would just say, if you notice that you're getting stopped out at some of your levels, try to, and I know this is tough to do, but try to just increase a little bit, maybe the risk parameters that you're looking at. And if you're going to get stopped out at 1% down, maybe give yourself to 1.2% or something. I feel like that might be a little bit better. Lower your share size and give your stop a little bit more room, because you can get outsized moves. Like, I never thought Apple was going to go $7, $8 today, right? So if I was using maybe a little less shares, then you're not as nervous about getting stopped out, and you can enjoy maybe that ride down. So I would just say be very, very careful with revenge trading. And again, don't look at your trades daily. I look at the P&L daily, but at the end of the day, we get paid out here on a Prop 4 monthly. So I do think it's a benefit to say, okay, where am I at on the month? What is my give back on the month going to be, right? We get shut down on a loss from top, 150% our daily loss. So that's maybe an indicator right there. If you're up $1,000 on the month, maybe cut your losses if you're down 500 on the day or something. You don't ever want to go red on the month. That will increase your sort of your revenge factor, and then you'll be even more peed off, and you might get like, now I'm right on the month, you know? Live to trade another day. You never know when that next trade's gonna be. We had a great example there on the TQs. We didn't even trade that today until the end of the day, and we took 150 handles, and that trade didn't come in until me and Joe had it at 2:30. So, you know, you never know where those trades are gonna come from, and that's a perfect example right here. We don't have VWAP set up on here, but it came right back up, this TQQ trade, right? Like, you could be frustrated. Like, imagine you're short this whole way. This is that revenge trade. You get stopped out. It goes higher. You get stopped out again. Like, you're going to keep getting stopped out. So wait, be patient. We waited for that top. We actually shorted 59s using that as a top, and we're able to enjoy that move down. Look, sometimes we get run over, but that, I think, is the key. Less shares, more patience. Take the bigger move. Sometimes it's hard to do, but I do appreciate that super chat for sure from Mr. Monty G. Okay, just real quickly, man, we're going to get wrapped up very, very soon. That siren probably hits pretty soon. Docu right now, let's have a quick look. So DocuSign holding higher, $77. Good name there. Alta Beauty here. As we wrap, I want to thank all of you for joining us, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Any comments, greatly appreciated. We really want to improve the show as much as possible, and just keep getting better, right, every day. 315 up to 332. Alta Beauty is working out for us. We had Rubric, RKRB. For some reason that sounds wrong. RBRK. Yes, Rubric, there it is, RBRK. Nice move there, holding that high, up 8%. That's a good one. Pager, my pager's going off right now. 1725, nice move up there for pager duty. So looks like we'll get some good names here to trade off of into tomorrow morning. Quick little check. I just want to check quickly on Intel. That was a big movie that we didn't talk about today. Remix. Intel goes out today up 15% on new CEO.
Also, speaking of that.
Go.
I just put this infographic on X and I had a lot of fun making it. And here's the tenure of some of the CEOs of Intel previously. And there's a weird correlation between getting appointed in May and the stock doing better under your tenure. Craig Barrett here, 28%. Paul Otellini only down 5.84%, which compared to some of the other people here, not bad at all. Then Brian Krzanek, who had to resign in disgrace, unfortunately, did have a great 5-year tenure, stock up 116% during his 5 years. Then we get Bob Swan, who was actually interim CEO for 6 months before his tenure began. And then we have these other interim CEOs here, David Zinsner and Michelle Johnston Holthouse. You can find all the little epithets, or not epithets, caveats here at the bottom because there are a lot, but check out this graphic on X at TTV Research. Patty G, by far, though, the worst of these when it comes to stock performance.
Yeah, it's almost unfair for those last two because they were just like placeholders. Yeah, no, it makes sense, but they're like more like placeholders,
they were,
right?
I think they were interim.
This is the unwind of Pat Gelsinger. Pat was down 50%, you said?
Pat
60. I'd add that 17 to that as well. I think he's down 75% because, again, this is his unwind. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Ramin, for staying late. A big shout out to Joe today. Big shout out to Brendo, Sharif, everybody that made this day something special. Big shout out to Bears vs. Bulls and everybody that's watching. Thank you so much. Join us tomorrow for Friday's trade. Will it be a free fall Friday? I'm going to say yes. At least probably going to go down anyways.
Depends on what color I wear.
Well, I think the Michigan sentiment, I think you nailed that one. I think that's going to be very, very key. So, all right, well, no pressure there. You just put it on yourself there for the color. So maybe wear neutrals tomorrow or whatever you want. We had Obi's fruit salad indicator as well. So we'll check that out tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a look at it. Thank you so much to everybody. It's been a blast once again. And we just hope to, again, keep on entertaining and bringing you the best shows we possibly can. So for everybody here at Trader TV Live, have a great evening. And today, Adara, we will have a zucchini.
And then we will have zucchini quiche.
Yeah, quiche. Okay, I was gonna say those noodles. Pretty healthy alternative to some of
rice noodles.
I actually, you know what? There's that zucchini. There's that machine that you can grind into the. That's actually. We haven't had that in a minute there. All right. Thank you so much to everybody. As we can't talk food all day. Favorite protein?
I like tofu and tuna.
Oh, perfect. I was going to say chickpea tofu. We like that for sure. We're going Freshie tonight, so we're getting some salad bowls.
You'll get the Oaxaca bowl. I used to work at Freshie, for context. Teriyaki, twist, Oaxaca, and Fiesta.
Perfect. We'll do something like that. My wife likes the Pangoa bowl, so
I've never had
with
that.
the spicy yogurt. All right. Ciao, everybody. It's been a great day. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye.